That was a good start to Sanity Week here in Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man John Kincade.
A good start, eh?
1-0. So I wasn't sane during the game.
Yes.
But the fact that they were able to beat the big, bad boogeyman that is the New York Mets finally yesterday, feel a little bit better this morning. There's obviously 3 more games in this series. A lot of baseball still has to be played, but what a great start last night. Phillies win 1-0. Nick Castellanos with the big RBI in the second inning, and then that was it. But, of course, the big story is the performance by Aaron Nola, Johnny.
Yes.
So I have a question for the audience today. It's a question that we'll be discussing throughout the course of the show today. Obviously, you can be a part of it at 610-632-0975. YouTube, shout out to you. Comment as well. My question for the people and for us to discuss today, Johnny, is what could happen this week that gives you more hope? I'm not saying what do you need to see for the Phillies to be World Series contenders. I'm just talking about the H word, hope. So that come October, you can close your eyes and just say, hey, giddy up. Let's go on a long run here in Red October. Let me finish, John. A long run here in the Red October.
You said a wrong run. I was like,
so my question is, what could happen this week that gives you more hope? And last night is a prime example of what could give you more hope. A performance by Aaron Nola where you sit back and you watch a guy pitch where you go, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that he's back. I'm not sitting here telling you that Aaron Nola is your game one starter. I'm not sitting here telling you that Aaron Nola is now all of a sudden going to be a spectacular pitcher and it's like they added another starter, right? I'm not going to say any of that stuff. Yeah. I'm just talking about hope. And last night was a prime example for him to go out there and to pitch 6 stellar shutout innings, to only allow 3 hits, to strike out 7, to hit his spots, to not nibble, to look like the starting pitcher that we have been able to see in these last couple of deep playoff runs in 2022 and 2023.
Hope. I see this is where we are on different planes. I'm on different plane with this team because I say to myself, I'm watching a baseball team that has the second best record in all of baseball. And yes, without Zach Wheeler, I worry about the depth of the starting pitching. Mm-hmm. But I look at every other team in baseball and I say they've got more flaws than the Phillies.
Okay.
Except for the Brewers. And I do, like you guys, I do want to see what the Brewers do under the brightest lights of October. And I do think there's a lot of players in the Phillies that have already shown that in October they've had moments. Do I believe this team can turn it on and be strong for 5 weeks? I do not. That's why I really want to see them win that, not have to play the wild card.
Right.
But if they have to win 3 series and everything, the second best team in all of baseball in the stronger league, the National League, I don't need a lot of hope. What I need to see is more consistency. So I'm looking for consistency. So if consistency is your version of hope,
sure,
then I'm there. I got to tell you, I'm liking what the outfield has rolled into. I don't know why it took Rob Thompson so long to sort of come to an idea that you want to sort of come to a set outfield. You and I have always been advocates of that.
Roles here, set roles.
But it's I always believe that people know when their roles is the way to go. But I'm looking at it right now going, this Phillies team, they are flawed. But I look at the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Padres, the Mets. I've never been scared of the Mets. I just am not. I mean, the Mets are scary in the fact that the Phillies have had struggles with them. But the Phillies are the better team than the Mets, and I watch it every time I play them, and I don't believe that the Mets are staring there. Dodgers can beat them. Cubs could beat them. You never know.
There's a chance where the Phillies never face the Mets in the playoffs.
Correct.
And that would be a great world.
It doesn't look that way, though. It really does. It looks like if the Dodgers knock them out, then that would be beautiful. Then the boogeyman's out of there, and the Phillies play the Dodgers well. So I have a lot of hope. I just need to see if I see sustainability of stability, like a consistency.
Sure.
Then I'm going to feel much better. This homestand's going to do a ton for me.
Yeah.
Now you have your 3 best pitchers going the next 3 nights. If you go and win 2 of the next 3, you get that magic number down to 7. You get it down this. You got a chance to clinch like the middle of next week.
Right, and this helps
wild.
Sanity Week. And again,
Yes.
I have not been on the boat of clinching. It's just whether or not they play this team, this specific team, well. And for the most part this season, they have not. So clinching the division's great, but like last year, it wasn't about just clinching the division. It was about the long road in October that unfortunately the bridge was blown up, and they didn't even get to the other side of to the other state.
Okay, but if we go back to September 9th of last year, none of us were thinking that the Phillies were going to flame out in the divisional series.
No, nobody thought that.
So, I mean, it's and in 2022, nobody thought the Phillies were even going to be in the playoffs on September 9th, and they went to Game 6 of the World Series. So what it just shows you is that we don't really know, but one thing I know about this group is they do have a tendency to surprise you.
They do.
And last night...
Both ways, by the way.
No question.
You expect them to win a game and they lose.
Last night I was absolutely pleasantly surprised. And we did it on post-show headlines yesterday. I do believe that Aaron Nola... I believed, and I said it yesterday on post-show headlines, I believed that Aaron Nola, the struggle bus Aaron Nola that could still go 6 innings scoreless, but, you know, and nibbling, he was at 45 pitches through 2 innings. So he was still nibbling early, and then he got on a little bit of a roll. Then he settled in. I still think that may be what he has to be, but I think a solid, I said, for the rest of his career, if he could be a solid 3, I'd be thrilled.
Right, absolutely. So, look, you are much more confident with this Phillies team than I am, and as we've said a couple of times already this week, I think I speak for a lot of people.
You do.
That are down with this baseball team. Now, I'm not down to the point
I think
where
they're missing
I'm
out.
not watching, okay?
No, exactly.
Like, no, I was locked in yesterday, and this was part of my promise that I gave when you were out on vacation, that I was still going to watch every single night and enjoy every single Phillies game, even though I may have a bleak outlook on the future of this team in terms of the distance that they can go in October, the future of this core, because there's obviously going to probably be changes. We know that Nick Castellanos will most likely not be on this team next year. Some people celebrate that.
I do not.
I do not. I thought he's been a consistent player. I think he's been having a bad year. He had a big night last night with that RBI. But because you are so already past the point of hope, like you feel good about this team.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to know from the people at 610-632-0975 who are more like me or even think less of the team than I do, what is it that you could see this week that could add to your hope? That's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying that you have to see something for them to be World Series contenders. I'm just talking about the hope word. And last night provides it for you when you see a glimpse, maybe, just maybe, that Aaron Nola is still available at some point in the postseason because you're going to need him.
Well, I'd like to see a glimpse of Kyle Schwarber that I haven't seen in 2 weeks. I'd like to see a glimpse of Bryce Harper. We talked about it yesterday.
Sure.
I'd like to see a glimpse of Bryce Harper coming through in a big situation because I mean, he just hasn't.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I still want to see.
Right, and that's part of the conversation today. Like, we could see a big series from somebody that goes, "Oh wow, imagine if you had that in October."
And by the way, I hated your answer yesterday, as I thought about it, and I understand why you say it, and you say it with absolutely with confidence behind it because we have seen it. But I hate the answer of, well, he's Bryce Harper, and October's going to come for Bryce Harper. And I've seen great moments of Bryce Harper, and I've seen disappearing moments of Bryce Harper in October. I don't know what Bryce Harper we're going to get in October.
I'm just not worrying about it right now. That's all.
I got to tell you, I think Bryce Harper is worthy of being worried about right now, though. I mean, I think as far as just he's been on. This is really not.
That's not been a good
It doesn't
year for
look
him.
like him. It doesn't look like him. I'm hoping that it's going to be that we're going to get him where he's going to go like maybe this week, the rest of the homestand, and then into the Dodgers series, we see him step up because these are big situations. Last night, he had numerous opportunities to step up. And
he went 0 for 4,
lame at
and
bats.
he was the only guy that did not get on base.
And by the way, Nick Castellanos, who's having a terrible year, is right on his heels in almost everything.
Yeah.
In almost everything.
Big night for Castellanos.
And Castellanos is having a terrible year, and Bryce is having a great year.
So here's the deal. I want to hear from you, 610-632-0975. What could you see this week, or what do you want to see or need to see this week that could provide hope? And logical answers, right? Not Kyle Schwarber hitting 12 home runs in this series. Also, before the game yesterday, My God, was there a flurry of news that came out from the Phillies? Multiple injuries that I was surprised by. And players called up. We'll update you all next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
It came down to execution.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the
.97.5 The Fanatic. So the Phillies, great start for my sanity. Even though the 9 innings wasn't good for my sanity. 1-0 baseball against the New York Mets because you're always waiting for the shoe to drop. But the win helps me wake up Tuesday morning happy.
Okay, two. So I already have one person here on Twitter. Okay, what is your sanity with an 8-game lead in the division? Is your sanity about the Mets?
It's the Mets. It has nothing to do with the division.
Okay.
Again, I've said it 1,000 times.
So it's about the
nothing to do with
Mets,
the division.
who are, we know.
I have not watched this Phillies team play well against the Mets at all this year, and it's the same team that knocked you out of the playoffs.
So you just want to see. So if the Phillies with their best 3 pitchers lined up, I think right now it is very fair of you and anyone else to say, even with the banged up lineup, and this lineup's banged up.
Yes, it is.
To be able to say the Phillies should take 2 of the next 3.
Yeah, they absolutely
got their best 3 pitchers lined up. The Phillies should be able to take 2 of the next 3.
Sean Manaea somehow pitches 7 scoreless when he can't get outs against other teams.
So we're going to say 2 of the next 3.
It's sanity week.
Would you put this to bed? Would you and everybody else
feel better?
Would all the people hiding under their blankets, and that's not you, but would all the people hanging on their blankets sucking their thumbs about the Mets, would you put it to bed if you see that? Or am I just going to have to hear from, boo, but if we play the Mets, we might lose. Yeah, we might lose. This team could lose. And you know what? The Dodgers could lose with their series. The Blue Jays could lose their series. Baseball, that happens in the playoffs every single year.
You know what I would not do? Here's what I won't do. I won't be like Boogeyman still, but I'm not going to be Chesty Chunas.
Okay, that's fine. No. I'm
not doing Chesty. If they play the Mets in a 5 or a 7-game series, it's noodle week.
Dude, there is
I'm not doing any chest days.
And you know what? You will be. You know what? You won't be Chesty Chunas. You'll be Smart Chunas. Because there will be no.
That's never been said before.
There will be. I don't care if the Phillies win 2 of the next 3. There will be no reason why anybody should be Chesty.
Right.
When you're talking about Zach Wheeler being gone from the rotation and everything.
Exactly.
And so no, that would be smart. Okay.
Wow, smart
you're fair. You're fair in that. I just don't want to hear from the. Last night I had people on social media. I'm going back and forth with during the game doing they're going to blow this. They're going to blow it. It's the Mets. And I'm just like, what are you watching for? Like, what are you doing to yourself?
Right.
Why do you sit and root?
That was October.
Why do you sit and root against your team? And that is rooting against your team. Going on there with a Phillies avatar on your Phillies thing, and you're tweeting all about it, and you're going, Phillies are going to blow this. We're going to blow this. You don't love your team. You're sitting there. You're rooting against your team. It makes no sense to me.
They're trying to do the anti-jinx, John.
I honestly would find something better to do with my time. I would not. I honestly couldn't do that.
You don't want to deal with the stress?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't sit there and root against my team. I wouldn't be sitting there just going, I have the second best team in all of Major League Baseball, and I'm spending my night on social media ripping said team, doubting said team. It makes no sense to me. That makes 0 sense. I would literally find a hobby. Go to the gym. Do something. Make love to your wife. Oh. Go do something. Get a girlfriend.
We can all be so lucky, John.
I should say get a girlfriend. It's probably more the option. Get a girlfriend. Would probably be more.
So yesterday, some news for the Phillies. Trey Turner, we finally got the update on the hamstring, grade 1 hamstring. He goes on the 10-day IL, as does Alec Boehm.
Yeah, what's that? It's
left shoulder inflammation.
Yeah, the mystery All-Star break injury from the Jersey Shore.
Well, this is completely different. Left shoulder inflammation. So he's out 10 days. They had to call up Otto Kemp and Donovan Walton. Donovan Walton batting .339.
You know anything about
Lehigh?
him?
No. He's bounced around.
Did you Google him?
Yes. He's bounced around.
I Googled him. I had no idea who he was.
Best Donovan in Philadelphia sports history.
I did not know that he was the great-grandson of the Walmart fame.
Did not know that either.
I didn't know it either, and it was fake news. Somebody put it out there on Twitter.
Okay. But you know what? I gotta rip this dude, John Heyman, because he's the first person I saw put out the Trey Turner report. Here's John Heyman's tweet yesterday. Phillies seem hopeful for star shortstop Trey Turner, hamstring, might be back for playoffs, maybe even a little before.
No, it was terrible.
That was the first tweet I saw when I opened up Twitter, and I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean might be back for play? How bad is this hamstring injury?" He then follows up saying, Turner hamstring is only a grade 1 strain. They are hopeful for postseason. So I'm like, so is he going to miss 3 weeks? Because the playoffs start 3 weeks from now. Hopeful means there's a chance he could miss. Turns out he's fine.
Rob Thompson was very, very adamant about feeling.
They're going to be very careful with him.
The earliest that the postseason could begin is 3 weeks from today.
Sure.
That is the earliest that it could start.
Right. Could
is
be
the
even longer
30th
for them.
It is the most likely start date right now if they were to hold off the Dodgers is Saturday, October 4th. So there's a long time. And more importantly, Rob Thompson, it's hard to tell because, you sort of have to put the paddles on Rob anyway. But he was very relaxed.
Well, they probably showed him the tweet saying, hey, you got to...
He was very relaxed about it.
You got to make sure that people don't panic because I got John Heyman saying they're hopeful he could return for the playoffs.
He was very relaxed, I thought.
God.
Yeah, to me, he was very relaxed.
Coming up next, the man of the day, Aaron Nola. Hear from him during his post-game media availability next. I love how real he was with his answer about how long it's been since we've seen something like this. And there's some other players that we need to see more from in terms of this conversation about what you need to see to increase your hope. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Nola comes up huge. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies shut out the Mets en route to a 1-0 win in an electric Game 1 of their series at the bank. And Aaron Nola, 6 scoreless innings in his start, allowing only 3 hits. It was absolutely stellar, and the bullpen slammed the door shut. Nola talked about how it felt to finally put a good start together after the game.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, and throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them, it's big.
It was an especially big win considering Trey Turner and Alec Boehm were both placed on the injured list yesterday. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain, Boehm a shoulder issue. Phil's Mets Game 2 tonight at 6:45. Ranger Suarez faces Sean Manaea. In Eagles news, no decision has been made yet on further punishment for Jalen Carter for his spitting incident. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and would not say whether or not internal team discipline would be coming. The Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars yesterday, adding to that running back room. Bigsby could also be used as a kick returner. We'll talk to Jeff McLane of the Inquirer at 8:25 for the latest on that. Amy Fadul joins us for the entire 9 o'clock hour. This update's brought to you by Dell Technologies. The new Dell AI PC with Intel Core Ultra helps you fast forward through your busy work, leaving more time for you time. Get yours at Dell.com/AIPC. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
On this Championship Tuesday morning, Jeff McLane joins us at 8:25. Amy Fadul with us for the entire 9 o'clock hour. So we're back to our regular scheduled program on a Tuesday. Looking forward to it. Last week, because of we had the Labor Day, and the game was on Thursday. We were all over the place. So we're back to our normal schedule. McLane 8:25, Amy Fadul 9 o'clock hour. Talking a lot about the Phillies so far after that just absolutely exciting, gut-wrenching win yesterday, 1-0.
I think I said excruciating as soon as it was
I did
over.
see that on social media. That's a good
to me,
word
that
for
was
it.
excruciating, but it was so much fun.
You get
like that. That to me is October baseball, and you love it as much. Like I love a 2-1.
I love it.
2-1, 3-2. I
remember in college, a bunch of us, on the freshman dorm went to a Phillies game, and it ended up being a 1-0 final. The baseball sports fans were all about it, but obviously your freshman dorm, you're mixed with a bunch of people. So we had the art kids, we had everybody. They were so freaking bored, and I didn't look at them once because I'm locked in, and the game was done in like 2 hours. And I was like, "What'd you guys think?" They're like, "This is it." I was like, "What do you mean this is it? This was exciting. I love 1-0 baseball. It's beautiful." By the way, David Robertson, shutout inning, 2 strikeouts. Matt Strahm, a shutout inning, and Johan Duran obviously got a little dicey in that last inning. But my God, that at bat for Alvarez at the end there, just swinging at 3 pitches that weren't even relatively close to the zone. My man was outmatched.
I said I didn't realize there was video of my last at bats in, Babe Ruth. Once
I didn't
kids
realize
started
he made it that far.
When kids started being able to spin it like that, I was done.
Yeah,
I was done.
Those were some ugly swings. That was an ugly at bat. Duran obviously gets the save. Phillies win 1-0. Our question for you to answer at 610-632-0975. What could you see this week, logically, of course, that could provide you more hope for the postseason? And last night is a prime example when a lot of us thought we weren't going to see that performance from Aaron Nola ever again in 2025, right? Who knows about 26, 27? He's here. But 2025 looked like it was over for Aaron Nola. Post-injury, pre-injury, it looked bad. ERA over 6. And then he goes out there and throws 6 shutout innings. Here he was after the game talking about this performance.
It's a good win. Good all-around team win. Those guys are good over there. Obviously, they played us really well past several series, and good to get the first one of the series over here.
What was key for you tonight in terms of kind of keeping them off balance?
Just commanding the fastball, commanding the changeup too. They left a couple curveballs over the plate that they hit for a couple base hits, but other than that, just kind of winning the counts. I know I had 2 walks, but I feel like other than that, kind of controlled the zone better than I had last game. It's a big to get game 1 of the series. We got 4 games against these guys, and we know it's going to be a battle every game. They're a good team, and they played us well, and we just got to do the little things right and keep on doing that through the whole series. So enjoy this one tonight, flush it, and get ready for tomorrow.
On getting through the 6th inning, with the way the season's gone for you, what did it mean for you to walk off the field to that ovation?
That was good. I mean, like y'all know, up and down year, and hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. But I'm glad I was able to put the team in a good position to win, and throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and Duran had some big pitches out there in the 9th, and being able to scratch that 1 run against these guys and hold them, it's big.
So I love the realness in that last answer where he says, "Look, I haven't had an outing like that in a long time." He's owning it, right? A lot of guys will run from it or hide from it or say, Look, I was just working on some
And
things.
that's not Nola.
No,
Aaron Nola has been stand-up his whole career.
Yeah. Look, it's been a while since I had an outing like that. You want to know the last time he had an outing like that? 6 innings, 0 earned runs. Last time we saw that was May 3rd when the Phillies beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-2. That was obviously before the injury. He came back with a 5-inning, 4 earned run performance and then 3 2/3 9-run performance, and then that's when he went on the injured list. And then he comes back and wasn't great when he came back. But last night was an incredible performance. You got to tip your cap to him. And again, an outing like that gives you a little bit more hope for the people like me or the people that are even down more bad than me about the postseason chances of the Phillies. If you can get outings like that, and I'm not even saying 6 shutout innings.
No,
right?
no.
I'm saying,
how about just quality starts?
Quality start. Like, go out there, because he's not going to be your number 1 starter, right? It's going to be Christopher Sanchez. I don't think he's your number 2.
He's not going to be your 2 or your 3.
We'll see how they end up doing it matchup-wise, 3 or 4. It's going to be 3 or 4. It won't be higher than 3. So 3 or 4, but if you go out there and you go, all right, I can at least get 5 innings out of Aaron Nola, and I'm going to be in the ballgame. No 5-run first innings, no 4-run first innings like we saw against the Brewers and the Braves. And then you have to hope that your team comes back. I'm talking about keeping your team in the ballgame through half of the baseball game. Provide some hope for me, Johnny.
I know Connor was getting some grief last night. Connor, people were saying that they thought the Phillies clinched something last night. You were getting?
I just saw like some weird comment that, Phillies clinch or whatever. People just have no idea. So, still stuff.
Phillies have an 8 magic number to clinch postseason, but we're not worried about that.
Right.
The Phillies have an 11 magic number to clinch the division, which is when they will have champagne. They have the magic number we are going to concern ourselves with for true is 15. That's against the Dodgers. Because I truly believe if you talk about hope, how about my hope is entirely hung right now on the number 15? Because if they don't have the 2 seed, my hope of them playing and winning 4 series is almost nil. My hope of them winning 3 series is because with the starting pitching thin, I think they have to be able to set up the starting pitching.
Right.
And set it up for the best of 5, hopefully get it done quickly, and then be able to set it up again for the NLCS. I feel really good about this team's chances to go to the World Series. I really do.
And right now they have a 4-game lead over
On the
Dodgers, 5-game lead at the Padres, if you're looking at the Padres potentially jumping the Dodgers because they're just 1 game back of L.A.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Chavez Ravine next week. That's the key.
It's going to be a
you
major
got to be
series,
you're 4 up on the Dodgers. If there's a way you could go to L.A. next week and you can be 3 up, because I'm saying, look, you may with the beat up Phillies right now.
Sure, with Turner out, Bohm out.
You may give up a game, but if you could go to L.A. 3 up, knowing just win 1, and you're going to leave there 2 up, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with it. I don't want it to be 2 up.
Right.
I don't want it to get dicey.
Right, because you want that first round bye, and I think it's important for this team. Now, for them to continue to win baseball games, they're going to need other people to step up, which is what goes into this conversation further about hope. And look, one of those guys, we did touch on it yesterday. Coming up next, we'll discuss it a little bit more, and then we'll check our text line. Connor said there's a lot of people chiming in this morning because last night was a fun win. It was an excruciating win, as John said. I think that's the perfect word for it, but it was a win, and against the boogeymen of the New York Mets. 3 more games this series. Get ready for more stress. But Bryce Harper needs to step up. I can't see another 0 for night. 0 for 4 last night.
Him and Schwarber are both. They're MIA right now.
With key guys. Trey Turner, a key guy. Alec Bohm, a key guy out of the lineup. I can't sit here going, well, don't worry, they have Otto Kemp. Like, I need the head honchos to step up. And I know the head honchos could just be your starting pitchers. As John has said, your 3 best starters are going the next 3 games of the series. But you need your bats to come through. And Bryce Harper, we're starting to look at you, man. It's been a long season.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about Bryce Harper coming up next. We'll also check our text line at 610-632-0975. What do you want to see this week? What can you see this week? What do you need to see this week in order to have more hope for the Phillies? It's Kincade and Salciunas on this Tuesday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Keller.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time.
The conversation. Well, I can tie this into the Eagles and Nick Sirianni, which we have plenty of Eagles content for you coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. I just saw a video of last night's Vikings-Bears game. And J.J. McCarthy, sort of iced the game with a rushing touchdown. They were up 3. He makes it 27-17. And Kevin O'Connell ran down the sideline celebrating, like, go nuts. And the tweet from a person that covers the NFL, look at how pumped O'Connell and the team is after McCarthy scores. Didn't Sirianni get crap for that? Like, if he ever did that, he gets crap for it. Now, look, sometimes I complain about his over-the-top antics. But they're, like...
I've only seen Sirianni get crap when he's taunting the other team, engaging the other team.
No, people don't like it when people don't like it when he's high-stepping down the sideline. People hate it. They think he's too much. I just saw Kevin O'Connell do it, and it's like, oh, look at Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell's a guy who is, for his NFL career, has conducted himself like a NFL professional.
I'm not ripping Kevin O'Connell.
No.
I'm fine with coaches celebrating with their team. It's just weird that how come Sirianni gets ripped for it.
I don't think
but Kevin O'Connell just did the same thing, and it's like, oh, that's awesome.
Nick does a great job. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. But Kevin O'Connell, as far as conducting himself, doesn't conduct himself like Nick Sirianni.
Also, you really have to ask the question. Come on. It's the Minnesota Vikings.
That's true.
Versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right, exactly.
That's a good point.
And they want to, stir the pot here.
That's a good point.
That's what it's about.
All right.
Like Jack Sparrow.
You're right. What do we got in the text line? And then we're going to touch on Bryce Harper here and how he absolutely needs to step up.
All right, so Sean from the championship PST softball team checks in and says, the hope I need to see with the Phillies is for them to start putting up more runs more consistently. The games they put up 10 runs is nice, but they need this offense to really start clicking 5, 6 consistently to have success in October.
It is so funny that the Phillies, like, people joke about it, but it's real. The whole, like, oh, man, they scored too many runs tonight because that means they're not going to score any
My
tomorrow.
wife always says that. But it's like she thinks that that's a thing. And for the Phillies, it sort of plays out.
It is. Like, it is a thing for the Phillies. It's so weird.
What's your teammate's name there, Connor?
Sean.
Okay, Sean. biggest concern. He's got a good concern there. Last 10 games for Kyle Schwarber, he's 5 for 36 with 1 run batted in.
Yeah.
Last 9 games for Bryce Harper, he's 5 for 36 with 4 runs batted in. That's a problem. 2 guys, money time. This is the time. And your 2 biggest bats. These are your 2 biggest guys.
Yeah.
And they're not delivering.
Right, and like the 10 games prior, Kyle Schwarber had 700 home runs.
And this is since, by the way, that's 5 for since the 4 home run game.
Right.
Something like
this is where, and again, today's a day of celebration, but this is where there is the worry that this lineup, when it gets cold, it's like ice.
Oh no, it gets frigid.
It's there's frostbite on it, and we've seen it in the playoffs. And this is why, to your point, you want them to have the bye, so that they have to play one less series, because we've seen this team get hot for multiple series, and then we see them just plummet.
I'm going to take it and say, look, if they could do that, then maybe they can win a first round series in 4, be able to set up their pitching,
sure,
and be able to ascend to handle things in the NLCS if they can do that. If they play in the wild card series, I have deep concerns about where they can go.
What else we got on the text?
All right, this texter is right on line with what you guys were just talking about. No name, but they say, what would give me hope is Bryce and Kyle go back to being the offensive threats that we know they can be. Without them, there's no deep playoff run.
And that's it.
Look, and it's more so Harper. I know Schwarber's having a cold streak right now, but Schwarber at one point was literally being talked about winning NL MVP, right? Like he was in the running for it. Bryce Harper, it's been a down season. Now, look, obviously the wrist played a big factor of it earlier in the season, but
was he still hurt?
I don't know what his body is, but I would like to say we're past that concern of whether or not the wrist is good or not, because we saw him after a couple of games post-injury be Bryce Harper again, where he was hitting for power, driving the ball into the gap, looking like that swagger that he had. It's just been another rough stretch, and I'm not trying to say this is the reason, but the Mets game, you were out on vacation,
okay,
when he was wearing the rivalry pack.
Oh no, I saw it.
And
I can't.
It just almost feels like since then, like something has just been off with Bryce Harper, where like he's not doing anything in games. He's still playing a good first base. But
by the way,
I'm not paying him to just play a good first base.
I love you both, and you know that. I did not listen. I need to hear your thoughts on the rivalry pack.
I hated it.
Thank you.
Did not remotely care.
Yeah, I hated it.
Okay, but you did you like or dislike it, though?
I don't, dude, he could wear whatever color cleats and whatever color gloves.
So you liked it then?
No, I mean,
you had no problem with it, which means you didn't dislike it.
I will tell you this. I guarantee you, and I'm gonna try to find out tomorrow. I guarantee you there are people who did not like it in his own clubhouse. I guarantee you.
Especially when that game he did absolutely nothing.
There are other players that hate that crap, that just don't like it. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I already know. I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact there are players that didn't like the commissioner showdown with Bryce. Bryce telling the commissioner to, getting in his face. There are some players that would wanted to hear from the commissioner and wanted to have an honest dialogue with him and debate with him. And didn't. I would imagine that's not like, that doesn't go over very well. I don't know what you're doing it for.
Yeah,
why? Other than look at me, make me the top.
I'm trying to have fun with the game of baseball.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's about the team. It's not about.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I hated it. I was honest about it. Kind of laughed.
What was the fan reaction though overall? Like mostly like no big deal. Was it Connor? Was it closer to Connor? Was it closer to you?
I think it was more like me because it was also after the 13-3 loss.
Okay.
Yeah, people were just mad about everything.
And then we know that affects everything.
Right.
Yes.
If they won 13-3, people would probably been like, "Yeah, Bryce, wear that rivalry pack."
And we know that
but they lost 13-3, so it was a lot different.
And I guarantee you, it would amp me up more. Like if it had been working, it would hurt. It would have pissed me off more.
I hated it. I texted my buddies like when I first saw it. I was like, "Is this dude serious? Like this is just."
Yeah,
I don't need this.
It's so high school Harry. It just drives me crazy.
We just have such bigger fish to fry than the type of cleats and gloves that Bryce Harper wears.
Bryce Harper playing good baseball
he has
is a bigger fish
to fry too.
Absolutely.
Bigger things to be worried about than that.
All right, let's go to our man Dommy. Oh, last night was his night. Mr. Freeze was on the mound yesterday. What's up, Dommy?
Hey, Andrew. Hey, John.
What's
Connor?
up, Big Dom?
Dude, what's up, brother?
Right away, right, Andrew? That's my guy out there who we've been throwing dirt on the coffin all year. And maybe he's got a
Deservingly
little bit
so,
left.
right?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, John. In the biggest series of the year against the team that had our number, they gave him no room for error, and he came through.
He did.
That's the fact.
And I absolutely was proud of him. And by the way, I said yesterday I thought that he was going to step up. I just had a weird feeling he's going to step up. I don't know why, but I thought he'd step up. And,
John,
he did.
If he can give you one game a series in the playoffs and be remotely that's gigantic.
Right. You don't need him.
Well, he's only going to be a fourth starter. He's not going to be a third starter, I'm telling you right now.
And hopefully, and obviously, Don, we would love it to be 6 shutout innings, but I'm not asking it. I'm asking him to keep me in the ball game. Like, do more than what Noah Syndergaard did, which was one time through the order and then hand things off to the bullpen. Go 2 times through the order or 3 times through the order, depending on the situation. Quality start. And then you just hope that your bats come to life.
And we need to see 3 or 4 of these.
Here's the thing, John. If they give Nola that the umpire was generous with the strike zone, right?
Oh, I think
that was big strike
for
zone.
both pitchers. Yes.
But if they squeeze Nola, when they squeeze him, that's when he gets hit.
Yeah, because
he's
not throwing 99, Dommy. And thanks for the call, brother. Always
I think
love
that's
hearing
when both.
from you.
Good job, Dom. Hope you're feeling well.
That's his guy.
Oh, it
Aaron
is.
Nola. Oh
It is.
man, we've had numerous conversations about Mr. Freeze.
Oh,
Aaron Nola is an ace.
There you go. I did that for a charity, but I absolutely still. Aaron Nola has had too many big moments for this team for me to say I can't count on him. At some point, he can come through. He dialed it up last night.
We needed to see a night like last night, and we finally got it. All right, coming up next, Nick Sirianni spoke to the media yesterday. And, of course, Johnny, a question came up about this Sunday, which is why we kept on saying over and over and over again that you can't totally ignore the past. And I wonder, tinfoil cap time, was there any correlation to last Thursday? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil shut out the Mets. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies won 1-0 over the Mets in a shutout victory. Game 1 of their series at the bank, and Aaron Nola take a bow. 6 scoreless innings, allowing only 3 hits in his start. The bullpen slammed the door shut, but Nola was the star of the game, especially after the season he's had. He talked about how it felt to finally put a good start together after the game.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them big.
And it was a tough spot for the Phils, with Trey Turner and Alec Boehm both being placed on the injured list ahead of the game yesterday. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain. Boehm has a shoulder issue. The Phils will play the Mets again, Game 2, tonight at 6:45, Ranger Suarez versus Sean Manaea. In Eagles news, there has been no decision yet made further on punishment for Jalen Carter for a spitting incident on Thursday night. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and would not say whether or not there will be internal team discipline for Carter. The Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. Bigsby could be used as a kick returner. Jeff McLane will join us at 8:25 to talk about the Birds. Amy Fadul for the entire 9 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hall of Fame sports writer Jason Stark.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Like I'm tortured right now.
You sneeze. Just take it behind the scenes. Usually every morning, Connor and Andrew have a sneezing thing sneeze a little bit before we start the show in the 5 o'clock hour while we're planning the show.
It's like the same time.
Andrew has a sneezing fit.
Yeah.
Usually around 5:40 every morning.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And
the allergies
so
are hitting
there it
me.
is.
And
What do you think it is,
Yeah, but
John?
hit
Are
you
you
right in-
shedding? Is that what it is? Are
Yeah, I
you
think it
allergic
is.
to
I
it?
do not.
is,
Yeah, you
John.
could be allergic.
Because I don't sneeze outside the building.
I do, by the way, I knew someone that was allergic to someone, and before, and it was the wife's stuff that she was using.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
No, she was. No, they had to get tested. He had to get tested. He was getting hives and stuff.
Oh God!
And the wife was using certain product that had to be stopped, but he had to go through a bunch of testing and everything.
That sounds horrible.
It's terrible. Imagine that being next to your wife and getting hives.
Sounds really bad.
Be terrible.
All right.
She'd make you get a mistress.
We'll obviously continue to talk more Phillies throughout the course of the show. The Phillies will not be off the table after that very, very fun electric win last night. 1-0 October baseball happened on September 8th against the New York Mets. Aaron Nola's 6 shutout innings. Applaud to you. Standing ovation to you. And then a great job by the bullpen. 3 shutout innings for the Phillies to win 1-0 over the boogeyman New York Mets. But I also want to talk some Eagles as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a BZ Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio powering possibilities. Because, Johnny, this week is another big week.
That's a huge week.
Not just any week, but it's a big week as the Eagles face the team that they just beat in the Super Bowl in February. Now, my question for Nick Sirianni is whether or not he knows that they beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
No, he says he doesn't. He didn't know it was banner night, and he didn't even know who they beat. Now, he's still going to get into it with the fans, probably. I don't think he'll do that this time.
No, he's not going to do that this time. I think he has learned his lesson.
Hopefully he has.
By the way, they won. He did that after losing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that is the truth.
Which is what I didn't like it even more because, like, you lost the Super Bowl. That regular season game honestly didn't mean anything in the big picture.
Nah,
like,
don't jaw.
You lost the Super Bowl. But
we're on the total same page with this.
Yeah. So Nick Sirianni, we've been kind of having fun with this, the whole completely ignoring what has happened in the past and ignoring the fact that they won the Super Bowl, wanting to put that to bed. I have a tinfoil cap theory that I will give you in a couple minutes. You guys can tell me I'm crazy. Shut up. Don't say it again.
We say it every day behind your back.
I'm not surprised. Or maybe you'll think that I'm on to something. Nick Sirianni, during his media availability yesterday, was asked about the upcoming game against Kansas City because you're not just approaching this game like it's any other, right? Nick Sirianni can do whatever he wants to say. Oh, that season's over. That team is dead. I think Cam Jurgens at one point said that team is dead. Like, this is a new team. This is a new life. But obviously, all questions will be about, hey, this is the rematch of the Super Bowl. Here was Nick Sirianni talking about the best way to approach this Sunday's matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah, you control the things that, Tim, you can control the things that you can control, and you go about your process. I think there's a lot of things that can distract you from just putting your head down and working every single day. And I think if you let yourself get involved in too many of the things there, then you're not focused on what you need to do. And so, we don't think too much about that. As far as that goes, we know we're playing a really good opponent with a really good head coach and a really good quarterback. Andy's one of the best coaches. Coach Reed, pardon me, is one of the best coaches ever to coach this game. So I know they're doing the things that they need to do to be ready, and we need to do the same thing. And so it's about our habits. It's about our focus. I think some of the, you get caught up in that too much. Like some of that stuff kind of fizzles out early on, and it's going to come. Like, I love that saying is like, as the pressure gets higher, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back to your habits and your training.
So obviously, a lot of it was about the upcoming the Super Bowl rematch, if you call it that, right? And he wants to try to ignore it, right? Which has obviously been the consistent message from Nick Sirianni since OTAs, right? Not even since leading up to week one.
His commitment to this bit is strong,
right?
It's strong.
I have a tinfoil cap question for you guys. All right, and I'm going to use it with everyday life.
What is it?
Have you ever suppressed your emotions a little bit?
Of course.
Where
all the time.
Look, I mean, you and I are in wonderful marriages, right?
Yes.
There's maybe been a week where your spouse has done something where it's like, that's nagging me. That's bothering me a little bit.
Usually it's me that has done the thing.
Sure, I'm sure it is.
I'm sure.
And you go, you know what? It's all good, Andrew. It's all good. Let this one slide. And then something else happens. And then something else happens. And you've suppressed, I don't want to say your anger, but you've suppressed your annoyance. And now all of a sudden, maybe one little thing tweaks you where you go, come on! And you raise your voice.
Oh, yeah.
When you're not usually one to raise your voice.
You mean
That's
a
me.
tone?
Yes, or a tone. I'm somebody that does not use much tone. I'm not somebody that raises my voice often. But when something happens multiple times, at some point, you pop off and you just go, come on, don't stop doing that. The dishes in the sink, just put in the dishwasher, right? Now I'm using my own personal life. Do you think part of this constant ignoring of what you were able to accomplish may have led to them being a little uncharacteristic in week one. Because I'm not talking about Adoree Jackson having a bad game. I'm not talking about, missed coverages. I'm talking about the uncharacteristic nature of what the Philadelphia Eagles were last Thursday. And I'll give you one more example. Jalen Carter. After he gets ejected, credit to him for speaking to the media. What is one of the things he said? We didn't play in the preseason. This was my first chance on the field. And I think
to hit somebody.
My emotions got to me because I was ready to hit somebody.
Yes.
Do you believe the bottling up? Like, all right, the Super Bowl's dead. Do you almost think they suppressed their emotions too much that come week one when it was time to play, Jalen Carter's spitting on people, Nolan Smith is doing things that were, getting personal fouls on him? Do you think I'm on to something?
I heard Tom Brady if you watched the broadcast the other day, Tom Brady working the game. He's talking about teams having, I guess it was the Commanders, I guess, coming off of the last year.
Yeah.
And he says, I think it's important for a team to have a swagger. We did this last year. It wasn't a fluke.
Sure.
This is who we are. We own it. We walk in like it's the expectation now. We walk around like we've arrived, not like we were happy to be there last year. I heard that, and my ears perked up a little bit, and I'm like, Like, that's like, instead of being like, last year didn't happen, we're not even talking about it, we're acting like it didn't happen. And then I look at the Chiefs document.
Okay.
And the Chiefs, very much under Andy Reid, we're the champs. We're the bullies on the block. Come and get us. We're here. Take your best shot. Cocky, arrogant. And they backed it up quite well, going to 4 out of 5 Super Bowls, winning 3 titles.
So I'm not crazy.
I mean, look,
what you're saying.
Look, no, you're not. And the thing is, but I also know that many, many times I've looked at the way Nick Sirianni does things, and I have been the one that's wrong. That my thought process is, don't do it that way, Nick. He does it a certain way, and it works.
Right.
So
it could work.
So for Nick, it could work. But to me, I like the own it. I wish they were a little more, we are the Super Bowl champs. We're walking in here. We're the champs. Come and get us.
Look,
come and get us.
I'll use one other example. What did I rip Scotty Scheffler for?
Not celebrating it enough.
Acting like nothing happened. Right? Like,
seems to work for him.
Yeah, that's true.
No, acting like things aren't important.
Right. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just another week.
I wish the Eagles, look, I understood what he was doing. Don't get me wrong. It just almost felt like it was a little too far.
Well, no, it
was over the top.
It's a complete shtick.
Yeah.
It's completely shtick because you know for a fact that is not how the players have looked.
But we've all suppressed our emotions before, and then, unfortunately, sometimes then you suppressing your emotions, one day you raise your voice when you don't normally do.
Well, I know that if you're aggravated with something like at work, or you're aggravated at something with whatever, it can be this pisses you off, and then something else can be what sets you off.
Right, and it might be something small,
and
but
someone looks at you like you're an idiot.
Right.
And you're like, well, yeah, but it wasn't because of that.
Right.
It was because of this and this.
Now, this isn't a negative. This was a positive, but I just feel like they downplayed it so much, and then finally they were like, yeah, we're the champs. It's time for us to, defend our title. And then they're uncharacteristic. I guess it's not so tinfoil cap after all. I would like people to chime in on that, Johnny, at 610-632-0975. Philly's still on the table as well. We'll check our text line next. Also, the Eagles roster is apparently still not done because they made another move yesterday. And this one, I don't think anybody had on their radar. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoon?
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll get back to our Phillies text here momentarily because obviously last night's win over the Mets was a big one for the sanity of Philadelphians. But the Eagles made news yesterday. Another move, so they acquire Zadarius Smith via free agency over the weekend. And then yesterday, they add to their running back room. The Eagles traded for Jags running back Tank Bigsby. And I know there are a lot of fantasy football nerds out there that know that Tank Bigsby had like a couple of weeks stretch where people are wondering, why isn't this the guy in Jacksonville? Obviously, Travis Etienne is a talented running back. It's just he's been hurt. He has some of those games where it's like 9 carries for 25 yards, and he's just non-existent in the offense. How much is that Jacksonville? How much is that him? But Tank Bigsby, the Eagles acquire in exchange for a 2026 5th and 6th round pick. So 2 picks, a 5th and a 6th rounder for a running back, much like the John Mechie trade. A guy that just was falling down the depth chart, falling out of love with his organization. So the Eagles go, hey, John Mechie is better than Anais Smith. John Mechie could be better than Johnny Wilson. Then obviously the injury to Wilson happens afterward anyways. Let's bring this guy in. Tank Bigsby, the question is he better than A.J. Dillon or Will Shipley?
So last night I'm doing a little reconnaissance trying to find out a little bit about this deal because I was thinking it had something to do with Will Shipley because that's all that I was getting. And a pretty good source, God bless you very much,
God, thank you.
says that, Bigsby had nothing to do with it. That Bigsby had nothing to do with Will Shipley. It was about acquiring a running back that they liked at a price that they like.
Sure.
That they consider a huge upgrade over any other back they currently have on the roster if anything was to happen to Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All like an overall back.
So it was that he's better than any back. He is immediately better than any back they have on the roster.
A.J. Dillon, Will
not
Shipley.
named Saquon Barkley. So it does not have anything to do with, oh my gosh, we're worried about Will Shipley. We're worried about it is about getting a back at a price that they liked. And I guess they had conversations when they had conversations with Jacksonville in the summer. They had, I guess this was sort of on the table before that he may have been available, and they passed.
So Tank Bigsby, he's 23 years old.
I'll tell you.
He was a third-round
Did
pick
you ever
from the
watch him?
Jags. Yeah.
In Auburn?
Yeah.
He's a
The name Tank fits him well.
He's an interesting player, and with this offensive line, he could do some really interesting things.
So his biggest flaw, as a lot of people pointed out, is can't catch out of the backfield, which obviously that's something that Will Shipley can do. But last year, he exploded onto the scene against the Texans, where he had 7 carries for 90 yards. Then the following week, 13 carries for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then he had a down week against the Bears, but then after that, 26 carries for 118 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Patriots. So a lot of people in Jacksonville thought, all right, we got our guy. And then he just kind of fell out of the rotation again.
He did. Well, the new coach, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. The guy who came over from Tampa, Liam Cohen. He doesn't fit as well what Liam Cohen wants to do.
Right.
So in his rotation, so he's not going to find as many
Which
touches.
is using backs out of the backfield as hands catchers. You saw that
Correct.
in Tampa last year with both Rashad White and Bucky Irving.
So that's where it didn't fit what he wants to do. So that's where it was available. And again, I'm told last night that this was discussed in August.
Sure.
So they may have made this. They could have made this move when they made a trade with Jacksonville in August.
Right.
They passed, and now they decided to do it.
Now, Kieran on our YouTube chat saying this is a confusing move. The team needs cornerback help. Now, don't forget, the Eagles have 17,000 draft picks next year, right?
They have 3 more 5th-round picks.
Right. Like they.
And by the way, you see, third-day draft picks are getting things done.
Right.
Around the NFL.
Right. So they have a lot of draft picks. They could, if they need to, maybe acquire a cornerback with maybe a higher pick down the road. Who knows?
I don't think they'd be going to. I don't think you'd have to go much bigger.
But this is just a move where you're going, hey, this adds to our depth chart. This adds to our team. What I am wondering is what's the fallout from it, right? Like when they acquired Zadarius Smith, does that mean somebody's going to be on their way out from that edge rusher depth? Okoronkwo? Is it him? Is it Azeez Ojulari, who did not dress in week 1? When a move like this happens, you wonder, all right, is this A.J. Dillon? I don't think they're going to cut Will Shipley. I mean, they love him.
No, did you hear Adamas yesterday too? Though
I did not.
He knew exactly like the roster moves. I'm listening to Unfiltered coming back from the gym, and Adamas in one segment says what he thinks the Patrick Robinson that he thought he was going to be upgraded from the practice squad to the regular squad. He said he thought it made the most sense. Patrick Johnson, excuse me. Patrick Robinson's a dream.
Yes.
Whereas we're talking about. So he predicts this move and says, yeah, this seems like it would be the corresponding move. It makes sense to upgrade, with special teams and everything. And within like 7 minutes, Silvana, I guess, is breaking in going, yeah, well, we got some news. And then they're to Bill, they're telling the news. And it's exactly what
maybe we
Andrew
could maybe we could do it to check in.
It was excellent.
Quick pop in.
Yeah, I can shoot him.
Have him drive all the way here. No, we'll call him. I want to see what his thoughts are on the Tank Bigsby edition and what could be the fallout from it.
Here's the thing that makes a lot of sense if you look in retrospect. With Ben Van Sumeren obviously going down for the year, being used in fullback capacity, you do kind of have a backfield spot, quote unquote, available roster wise.
Right, roster wise. Yeah, and he's not a fullback, but I get what you're saying.
Right, and then Bigsby can be there because people might be like, well, will they carry 4 running backs? Technically, they already kind of were.
Right.
So now you use him as a special teams guy.
Saquon fullback.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's a great idea.
And two, what I really want to hear from Andrew Tkachuk, and I didn't get to hear it, I think they were going to get into it on Unfiltered, but I had to go in and do something, was I want to hear, too, is there was big talk about big plans for the fullback this year in the Eagles offense.
Yeah.
So how does that adjustment change? And is that now just scrapped?
Yeah, they had the third-string tight end who I thought did a good job filling in.
Right.
Remember last year they brought in Blossom Game after Van Sumeren's injury, so who knows? Maybe they bring somebody else in. All right, real quick, Phillies text, because I want to keep that on the table because obviously last night's win was electric.
Chris from Morrisville checks in and says, something that I could see that would give me hope would be seeing that fight, that big hit in a moment where they're down and need a clutch hit. Seeing the bats we need to show up, actually doing that in a huge moment would give me a lot of hope for October.
Look, and that's why the last series against the Mets hurt me so much, that every time the Mets punched, the Phillies did not punch back.
They look like the father the other night when when Karen Ballsnatcher came over. They put their hands in the air and went, ooh.
It was like that 13-3. It was 3. They were up 3-0. Then it was 3-3. Then 4-3. Then 5-3. All of a sudden they lose 13-3.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And then the last game they go out with a whimper.
A whimper
when they get shut out.
Yeah.
So to that Texas point, Chris in Morrisville, yeah. If they get punched, I want to see them punch back this time.
That's a good one. I like that.
They didn't last time.
I like that.
Coming up next, I want to take a moment to celebrate Nick Sirianni. I feel like I'm Bill Colarulo here. Let's look at where some of his fellow 2021 head coaches are today and the 2022 head coaches, because one of which was the talk of the national networks yesterday. And people are finally starting to realize that maybe nerds aren't great head coaches. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A stellar start for Nola. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies shut out the Mets en route to a 1-0 win in an electric Game 1 of their series at the bank last night. Aaron Nola, 6 scoreless innings, allowing only 3 hits. It was a stellar start for him, and the bullpen then slammed the door shut. Nola talked after the game about how it felt to finally put a good start together.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them, it's big.
And it was a big spot, not just because it was the Mets, but because ahead of the game, Trey Turner and Alec Boehm were both placed on the injured list yesterday. Brandon Marsh, he was under the weather, so you're missing 3 of the guys that probably would have started. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain. Boehm a shoulder issue. We'll keep you updated on that. Phil's Mets Game 2 tonight at 6:45. Ranger Suarez faces Sean Manaea. In Eagles news, there's been no decision on further discipline for Jalen Carter from the NFL. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and would not say whether or not there would be internal discipline, so we'll keep an eye on that. And the Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. Jeff McLane of the Inquirer joins us at 8:25 for the latest on that. Amy Fadul joins us for the entire 9 o'clock hour. This update's brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The Fanatic. Connor, give us another text message on the Phillies, because that's, I think, our main talking point with the people. We've just been kicking around a lot of Eagles stuff throughout the course of the show, as we should, because we're getting ready for week 2, man. Eagles-Chiefs Sunday. It just feels like it's been a while because they played on Thursday.
Can't wait.
But what do we got on the text line about the Phillies after that win? Our question for you to answer today at 610-632-0975. We appreciate all of you that have been a part of this show today, even on YouTube and text line, emails, you name it. What do you want to see this week that will add to your hope that the Phillies could make some deep run in October? Because a lot of us are down. John doesn't need more hope. John just wants consistency. But I know a lot of people need hope. And I think last night was a perfect example that led to me having this idea for a topic, because Aaron Nola did something yesterday that I don't think many people believed was still left in the tank. 6 shutout innings for at least 2025. You got that last night. The bullpen did their job. You win 1-0 despite not having Trey Turner and Alec Boehm, who are on the IL. Nick Castellanos with the RBI single in a game in which he wouldn't have played if they had the full complement of players because Brandon Marsh was ill, right?
Brandon Marsh has the flu. He had the flu.
He's sick. So Castellanos gets a start in a game where he normally wouldn't because of the platooning. He gets the lone RBI single. What are the people saying on the text line, Connor?
All right, so we have a check-in here from Joe the Cynic, who talks about hope, and he says, to have more hope, I need to see wins coming off 3 to 5 runs from situational hitting, not just relying on the long ball.
I think he's,
yeah.
You know what's funny is Joe the Cynic is Joe the, that's smart. That's smart. I called you smart earlier. I call him smart there. I think that's smart.
We're just a couple of smart guys.
That's
man.
smart.
A couple of seam heads.
Joe's a cynic, but Joe with baseball is very smart.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I randomly thought about this this morning because I was listening to Rex Ryan talking about Mike McDaniel. I think he called him Mike McNerd yesterday.
He called him Nerd Boy on the show.
Yeah.
He called it yesterday. He called him Nerd Boy on NFL Live.
But he called.
I was surprised at that because the coaches come on and everything, and I don't think Rex is going to call him Nerd Boy when he comes on.
Probably not.
No, he won't.
Oh, sorry. He called him Mike McGenius.
No, but he called him Nerd Boy on NFL Live. He called him Nerd Boy.
The full quote was McGenius guy or whatever the hell he is, Nerd Boy. Their team has no respect for their coach. They play like that. They are soft. Every part of their football team is, which, by the way, I don't disagree with that second part.
I don't disagree with it either. I just think him calling him the name.
I got you.
A little strange.
So I wanted to look back at the coaches that were hired the same year Nick Sirianni was hired, and then the year after, because, 23, 24, 25, still very early in their tenures. The 2021 head coaches. Number 1, Brandon Staley, now coordinator. Urban Meyer.
Brandon Staley, who, by the way, there were a lot of people who were very high on Brandon Staley.
Yes. Urban Meyer. That was a disaster. In Jacksonville.
I wanted no parts of fake
a disaster.
Fake Urban Meyer.
Dan Campbell. We'll see how this year goes for him.
I wanted no parts of him either.
He's done a lot. Well, I don't think the Eagles were in on him, right?
No, but I didn't want. No, but when he was hired,
I hated the ankle. We bite kneecaps.
Like to me, he's a guy though that I never bought into.
The over-the-top macho mentality.
Yeah, but he's done much better than I ever thought.
Now we'll see without the coordinators this year. Arthur Smith with the Falcons.
Didn't want any part of him.
Not there anymore.
By the way, did you just? Can I do a little side story?
Sure.
Do you know how much? Arthur Smith's dad passed. God rest his soul. His dad founded FedEx.
Oh, that's impressive.
You know how much that trust was worth, reportedly?
$1.5 billion.
No, for I think like $900 million. So he's like the offensive coordinator of the Steelers.
Yeah.
With like $900 million in trust.
Yeah,
guy just loves ball.
He could say, "Yeah, go ahead, fire me. I'm fine."
Well, he already did the Falcons. He already told them that.
That's true.
But I mean, like, seriously, that's amazing.
Robert Saleh. I really did like Robert Saleh. I
did not.
I still think that Jets situation was.
They're a mess.
Yeah.
I did not.
He might be a better defensive coordinator than head coach, and he's back with San Francisco where he made a name for himself.
And he's a hell of a defense coordinator.
I just, I wonder if he gets another shot at some point. That was a weird situation.
He probably will, but he created a lot of the weird situations.
I know.
Though.
And then David Culley, nobody will remember him.
No, I don't even remember him.
He was with the Texans the year Deshaun Watson had the legal stuff. So it was kind of like a...
Was he booking the masseuses?
No, he was not doing anything. He was hey, we need you to just kind of be here for a year.
He was pre-D'Amico Ryans, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, pre-2 guys. Because the next year was Lovie Smith.
Oh, I forgot Lovie was there.
Lovie was a terrible hire. That was a terrible hire.
Yeah.
You keep going to the same well. That's stupid. That was a dumb one.
Matt Eberflus, no longer with the Chicago Bears.
Well, now he's the defensive coordinator. We just saw him this week.
Yep. Doug Peterson, obviously no longer with the Jags. Brian Dable, remember, Coach of the Year in 2022.
Yeah. By the way,
a joke.
By the way, I'll raise my hand. I was very, very intrigued by Brian Dable.
No, I was intrigued by him.
I was very. If he had ended up being the Eagles' hire, I would have been okay.
They wanted him in 21.
Right.
He did not want to come here.
I would have been very intrigued by Brian Dable.
I wonder if he regrets his decision.
So I raised my hand on that one.
He didn't want to come here because he didn't want to have the issues with Howie.
Right.
The power struggle.
Sure. Well, guess what? Look what he got stuck with.
Yeah.
Have fun with Joe Shane.
How's your power struggle in New York? Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings.
I
obviously,
very much liked him.
We'll see how that goes.
Very much. I like that tree.
Yeah.
Like that tree. As long.
Nathaniel Hackett no longer with the Broncos.
Well, he's the coffee getter for, and the mushroom getter for Aaron Rodgers.
Dennis Allen no longer the head coach of the Saints.
No Coach Allen.
Josh McDaniels no longer the head coach of the Raiders.
Wouldn't hire him on the Poop Walker app for my dog.
Mike McDaniel
never
may not be the head coach of the Dolphins much longer. And then finally, the one guy that's still doing a good job, Todd Bowles with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
My college classmate. I would not have hired Todd. I would have been intrigued, but I wouldn't have hired Todd necessarily because I wasn't an offensive guy.
So since 2021, the 21 and 22 head coaching classes, there's only 2 left from 2021, Nick Sirianni and Dan Campbell, both of which have gotten to conference championships. The Eagles have obviously won the Super Bowl. And then since the 2022 coaching tree, you have Dable left, who knows how much longer and if he should still even be the head coach of the Giants. Kevin O'Connell looks like that's going to go well for them.
He's a hit. He's a hit hire. And when you look at what Todd's done, Todd's won the division every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's hung a division banner every year, and he doesn't have he has a good team, just hasn't had a great team.
And remember, he's
Baker, he's done a great job.
He's the post-Brady. Like, he had to post-Brady be the head coach of that football team.
And the coach, and he quit on purpose. Bruce quit.
Bruce Arians.
Bruce quit to make sure that he'd get the job.
Yeah.
He made sure that his former player got the job.
It's worked out.
It worked out well. No,
look,
very well.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a legitimate opponent.
And if they beat us, I'm
NFC.
telling you right now, if we get on that plane that Monday, I'm going to be so pissed. That is the game I have.
We'll be doing the show from Tampa
that Monday morning. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be so pissed.
By the way,
they lose to Tampa.
I called our man Vince, Philly Sports Trips yesterday,
so much fun.
Just to kind of get prepared.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be busy that trip. So
sure.
I was like, hey, what can I do? What can I do to help? Blah, blah. Man, dude, he's got a lot of fun stuff for us playing.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh, man.
Can't wait.
Check out PhillySportsTrips.com. They do such a tremendous job on the road.
Cousin Matt's going to join us.
Can't wait.
Just for the tailgate before the game and the ticket.
Yeah, so if you're going to Tampa and you just tailgate.
He's doing the pregame tailgate and the game.
Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. That's it. All right, coming up next, more Phillies text, but also, while we're giving flowers to Nick Sirianni for being the coach that's on top of all these guys that were hired in 21 or 22, I also want to give some flowers to Jalen Hurts because I read something this morning that made me ask, what are those naysayers even saying that matters? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not... Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic.
Johnny?
Cousin Ryan just purchased yesterday.
Oh, no way, really?
Him and Molly love going. His daughter Molly.
That's
she's
awesome.
like a little monkey over there.
Coop was
Way she
jumping
loves that place.
off his bed yesterday. And we're reaching that point of like crazy boy like energy. Like he literally told me yesterday, Dad, I have too much energy. I said, all right, go downstairs. And
Have
get it out.
you have not done this? Is out
I
near.
have not done this.
Okay,
yet.
well, this is out near our house.
Okay,
so this is out near Landview.
I gotta check it out. Treehouse
great.
World. Get a 4-pack of tickets for half off. Adventure awaits. Climb, zip line, and explore at Treehouse World in Westchester.
It's
for half the price.
unbelievable.
Get this exclusive offer while supplies last. 97.5thefanatic.com/deals. By the way, with the weather getting cooler, like that's a perfect thing to do. And oh, by the way, the Eagles have the prime schedule where you can do things on the weekends.
The
There's
kids,
Thursday games, Monday games, Friday games.
Kids will love it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh my God, it's a great spot.
All right, 97.5thefanatic.com/deals. All right, before we get back to the Phillies text, I just want to read this to you. So we just gave Nick Sirianni his flowers because the amount of talk that Mike McDaniel was getting yesterday on the networks because, boy genius offensive mastermind has not necessarily been playing out with the Miami Dolphins.
Correct.
And so I read something on Fox. You know me. I love my power rankings. Eagles are still number 1 on Bucky Brooks, in case you're wondering. But Bucky Brooks did his write-up.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts silenced the naysayers with a stellar Week 1 performance against the Cowboys that showcased his running prowess, particularly in the red zone. With the Super Bowl MVP picking up the slack for Saquon Barkley, the Eagles continue to roll over divisional opponents.
Did he, though?
Well, what are the naysayers saying at this point? Like, seriously. What are the naysayers? Like, I need to know. I get I hate the argument, but I get where people are coming from. Oh, look at all the talent he has around him. But naysayers, like, what do you mean by naysayers? Like, you can't say he can't throw the football well, because he does. The whole can't read a defense, well, he's starting to prove that wrong. You don't win the Super Bowl by not being able to read the defense. The way he was able to tuck and run in situational moments in Week 1, I just don't know what are naysayers saying. And I'm talking about the real people, not the weird trolls online that are trying to uplift their quarterback. I'm talking about people that analyze the game and try to diminish whatever Jalen Hurts does. What are they actually saying?
They're saying that he's getting carried. That's the argument.
He's getting carried.
That's the only argument they have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He did not get carried
A.J.
on
Brown
Thursday
and
night.
Devontae Smith were non-factors.
Right.
So then they're blaming him for that when he was the best efficient passer in the NFL in Week 1?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even say, oh, A.J. Brown. You can't say Saquon won them the game. Like, it was Jalen Hurts won the game. If you did individual MVPs, like week-by-week basis, Jalen Hurts is the MVP week 1.
No, Jalen Hurts was spectacular on Thursday night. He was so efficient.
I might go Josh Allen, but
no, for the Eagles.
Oh, yes.
He was
Josh
so
Allen,
efficient.
yeah.
He was so smart. He was so smart on Thursday night.
I just don't know. Like, what can you possibly say about? Like, I get it. He doesn't play the way Josh Allen does. He doesn't throw for 400 yards. But if he wins and he's efficient, what can a naysayer actually say?
They are, again, this is one of those situations where people are so embedded in their opinion.
Sure.
That they're just not going to back off. They're going to refuse to back off. They're going to tell you, I'm going to stick with it and I'm going to go down with the ship. Because they sound so stupid. So just let them talk. Let them talk. Let them be stupid.
Right.
Let them be Jack Sparrow. Let them be, just sounding so dumb, like about the Eagles, and make their way with it.
I think that's fair. Just let them be dumb.
Yeah, because they let them be dumb.
You're not stupid.
You're not stupid.
What do we got on the text line, Mr. Thomas, at 610-632-0975? Our Phillies question, what would you like to see this week that could provide hope for you moving forward with the Phillies in hopefully a long red October?
This texter from Texas, no name on this one, just wants to talk a little bit about the game last night. They say the Phillies were electric last night. Nola had me hanging on every pitch because I was waiting for him to fall apart, but luckily he didn't. And Duran looked like he was pitching, not just throwing in that last inning. That was great to see.
Yeah, look, the Nola thing, he's totally fair for saying that. Like, he was waiting for the implosion.
Well, I mean, and I think Aaron was very, very honest in his post-game press conference that, like, he acknowledged
he
how
said,
bad
it's been a while since I've had this outing.
Yes.
And I gave you the date.
The way it
last
works.
time he pitched 6 shutout innings was May 3rd. And all the other outings weren't, like, good. Like, it wasn't like, oh, he had that 6 shutout, but then the next start it was, 6 1/3 where he allowed 2 earned runs. Like, no, it was bad after that. 4 earned runs, 9 earned runs, 6 earned runs. Like, it was bad. And then he comes back from his injury, and it was bad. So for that texter to say that, totally fair. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not bad. And that's not being a negative fan.
No.
That's
just
being you're
happening.
holding your breath. Like I was very much concerned about him going out for another inning. The 6th inning, I'm going, oh my gosh, Alonso and Soto, and then I'm going, are you serious? And he ends up coming up strong.
Yeah.
So.
Look, I hold my breath. I've talked
and
about
Rob,
this.
by the way, Rob gets credit for that one.
Sure.
Rob believed, and it went perfectly. So that's great.
I've told you a lot. Like, I hold my breath almost every time Matt Strahm pitches because he doesn't have explosive gas, and when he's missing,
Somebody did in the post-game presser.
We'll hear about that later.
Well, I'm sure we will. But like, if he's missing his spots, like he'll get touched up. He puts a lot of guys on base, but he gets out of it. But that doesn't mean it's a clean, comfortable inning. Like you're still nervous. Like yesterday, he allowed 1 base runner yesterday. That's still the tying runs on base. You know what I mean? Like. Matt Strahm always kind of makes me nervous when I'm watching him pitch, but he always gets out of it.
Strahm,
more often than not, gets
he's
out of it.
Yeah, he's
more often than not. What else?
He's the one I cringe a lot on.
But he's going to be a big part of your rotation.
He is.
What else we got?
So we have a texter with a question for you, Johnny, because you talked about earlier with the Nola thing, how you felt that even though he was struggling, the resume tells you can get something out of him at some point. But this texter wants to ask, it sounds like you don't have that same belief with Bryce Harper, even though his resume is better.
Because of the fact is that what I'm talking about is that with Bryce, I have seen him step up. I've seen Bryce step up in Bedlam at the bank.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. I mean, absolutely awesome. Bryce has those moments that are absolutely amazing. I would tell you that the moments for Aaron Nola in Phillies postseason of recent are bigger and more frequent. More frequent.
Oof. I don't know that I can say that.
The brilliant outing to win the division in Houston in 2022, followed up by the brilliant outing against the St. Louis Cardinals on the road to clinch that series in the wild card, followed up by the brilliant outing to beat the Braves right after that. That was 3 stellar, spectacular outings in a row, followed up by another good outing in the NLDS. Those are 4 separate for a starting pitcher to come out and dial up 4 different times in a row there. The next year, doing it again to the Braves and being able to step up and do it again against the Braves. By the way, and do it again to clinch the division. I think he clinched the division again. Is that I've seen Bryce do it, but what I've also seen is that Bryce doesn't look right. And everybody can stick their head in the sand. Bryce is the guy.
Yeah,
he is supposed
but Nola has, up until last night, has not looked right.
And he completely acknowledges it, and I get it. But I said yesterday, we did post-show headlines, and I said, I don't believe that and just to put it in context, I think I said it earlier. My biggest hope for Nola, my biggest expectation, is that he can be, what did I say, a 3.
Sure.
Going forward in his career. That's where I see my biggest hope for him is that he can be a really solid 3. Not that he can go back to being Aaron Nola, but I did say I believe he had nights like last night in him, and I believe we will still see those nights. But I'm we're going to see those nights, then we're going to see the blow-up night, then we're going to see the other nights. But that's sort of how it comes together. But no, I said, look, there's something about Bryce Harper. I shouldn't have to go through. There shouldn't be gap after gap after gap, and this season has had gap after gap after gap.
But in the postseason, he has been very, very good.
He has been. He's been good, and then last year he was not.
No, he was good last year.
Nah. I mean, not when they needed it most, he was not. When they needed it most, he was not. Just like with Schwarber.
I thought him and Castellanos were the only 2 guys that were anything last year in the postseason. except for Schwarber's leadoff home run, and then that was it. All right, coming up next, our man Andrew DeCecco is joining us, Johnny.
That's very nice.
8 o'clock. So 5 minutes to check in about Tank Bigsby and what's next. DeCecadamus, as we call him.
Well, no, yesterday he proved it again.
Yes, with roster moves.
He literally was telling, I think Howie was listening.
Why Tank
said, what does he
Bigsby
want?
and what's the fallout of it. Also, we'll talk a little bit more about Aaron Nola's performance yesterday. And do you believe he could climb up in the rotation? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A huge win for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies shut out the Mets last night 1-0. An electric game one of their series at Citizens Bank Park, and Aaron Nola played the hero. 6 scoreless innings, allowing only 3 hits in an absolutely stellar start. The bullpen slammed the door, and that was that. Nola has not had a great year, so he talked after the game about how great it felt to put together a start like that.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them big.
And it was a tough spot. Trey Turner and Alec Boehm were both placed on the injured list yesterday ahead of the game. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain, Boehm a shoulder issue, so the Phils were shorthanded, still found the win. They'll play the Mets again tonight in Game 2, 6:45, time for first pitch. Ranger Suarez versus Sean Manaea, the pitching matchup. In Eagles news, no decision is made on further discipline for Jalen Carter by the NFL yet. We'll keep you updated on that. Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday, but he did not say whether or not the team would have internal discipline for Carter. The Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks yesterday for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. Talk to Andrew DeCecco coming up next. Jeff McLane at 8:25, Amy Fadul for the 9 o'clock hour. This update's brought to you by Bet365. Football's back. Get ready for the season at Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia sports.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley! Into the second deck, Bryce Harper! Shoots! He scores!
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
.97.5 The Fanatic. Our man Andrew DeCecco is going to be joining us at 8 o'clock for a few minutes to just sort of talk a little bit more about the Tank Bigsby trade that happened yesterday. Nobody had that on their radar. Nobody was even thinking about adding a running back, right? Like Zadarius Smith, I'm not stunned by because depth at the edge rusher position was something that we've been talking about. If news came out later today that the Eagles acquired a cornerback, nobody would be like, oh, my God, I can't believe they did that. Because we've been talking about the second cornerback spot. Nobody was thinking about adding another running back to the room of Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, and A.J. Dillon.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to hear Aid to check in, because I really want to know what his brain is thinking this morning. Because, as I said last night, I got told that it was nothing to do with Will Shipley, that it had everything to do with a player that they've stalked him for a while.
Right.
So they've looked at this guy for a while, and we're like, hey, he's interesting. We would love to potentially take a flyer on him, and that this deal could have happened in August.
Sure. So we'll talk to DeCecco coming up in 2 minutes. Real quick, as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, 8 Beasley, Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. You are very stern when you keep saying Aaron Nola will be no better than your fourth starter in the playoffs.
I do not think he's starting. I do not think you will see him start anything but a fourth starter.
If he puts together a couple more outings like this, because you keep on bringing up the past.
Could that happen? Okay, I will be willing to reconsider that. I would think about that.
I just want to see.
I don't believe that we're going to see him. But again, as I said, my dream for it is that the Phillies won't be on the hook for one of the worst contracts in Major League Baseball.
Right.
And he would have one of the worst contracts.
Yeah, he sure would.
If he doesn't perform to a certain level. But to me,
look, Sanchez is penciled in number one, right?
Sanchez is one.
There's no debating that. Christopher Sanchez is your game one starter.
Ranger Suarez is two.
He's your penciled in game two starter.
Here's two. Ranger Suarez's splits, and Connor, you can speak to this too as the Locked On Phillies podcast host. His splits are dramatically different between home and away.
Yeah, they are.
So you're not going to pitch him. You're not looking to pitch him in game 3.
Right.
You'd prefer not to.
So you're going to pitch it. No, you're going to pitch him in game 2. You're going to pitch him in game 2 because his splits are ridiculous. It's like his ERA, I believe, is almost like 2.
No, on the road, he's got a 2.05.
So it's the
At
road
home,
that's
he's better.
So then you could have him there.
No.
But then you're going to go Luzardo at home.
Yes, because he's the guy that I see is more like mentally dependent on the situation around him. He's more environmentally based.
So you do think there's something to that?
Yeah, and I also think there's something to handedness. Three lefties,
what?
Three lefties in a row may not match up well against whoever they get. So it may be Nola. Like
I don't
tell
believe
you, Sanchez is one. Everything else is up in the air.
I do not believe they'll do. I just don't. Well,
to Connor's point, like, what if there's a team? Let me see.
Because they're gonna. So what are you gonna do? One of those bullpen by committee games?
You may throw Nola. I wouldn't love it, but let's not pretend like that's off the table.
All right, here.
Well, with Rob Thompson, we know nothing's off the table.
We're going to talk to our man Andrew DeCecco. After that, I'm going to give you I have the MLB team stats versus left-handed pitching. And there are a couple in the top 10 and one in the top 5.
Well, look at Dodgers and
look
at Dodgers and Mets. Because that's who we're gonna need.
We'll get to it, but it's time now for it to check in. Let's go to the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business, big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. He does such a great job covering the Eagles for Inside the Birds and all over the place here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You hear him with us. You hear him with Unfiltered. You hear him over the weekends. You hear him on the pre- and post-game shows. Our man Andrew DeCecco joins us. Andrew, thank you for the last minute to check in here. We're just kind of trying to figure out why the Eagles made a trade for Tank Bigsby yesterday. So, using your expert analysis and your information that you have, explain.
Well, there's a little bit to unpack here, guys, because there's sort of a logjam of talent there at running back in Jacksonville, and Tank Bigsby sort of fell out of favor. He had just 5 carries for 12 yards Sunday. And Howie Roseman has proven that he's going to leave no stone unturned. If he sees value, and Tank Bigsby was a 2023 third-round pick, and he's just 24 years old, they're going to find a way to bring you on board. And when you look at what they gave to the Jacksonville Jaguars, it suggests that they view him as more of a long-term piece. And he does have 2 years remaining on his contract, so that gives you a cost-effective option next season along with Will Shipley. And so I don't necessarily view it as something that was made with the Will Shipley injury in mind. I get the sense that it probably has something to do with his ability to be a kickoff returner and also just give the Eagles cost-effective depth this season and beyond and just really fortify that reserve running back role behind Saquon Barkley.
I know how big you are on Will Shipley, but when you talk about a guy like Tank and watching him play in the SEC, I can't help but think on a depth chart, if you were just talking about talent-wise, he has to be right behind Saquon. Is that correct, or are my eyes deceiving me?
Well, I'll tell you, John, I liked him a lot coming out of Auburn. I mean, this is a really good inside runner. He finishes, compact build, and really good contact balance when working through traffic. So in theory, yes, he fits really well and complements what the Eagles have there in the running back stable. But, I think Will Shipley's the better running back overall, at least for this offense, as far as the number 2 behind Saquon Barkley. And what I mean by that is his ability to be that in-game complement to Saquon Barkley in terms of the receiving game. That's something that Will is the most natural pass catcher among the running backs, and he just brings a different skill set, I would say. But Tank Bigsby has a lot of ability. He wasn't necessarily able to realize that fully in Jacksonville. Now, he did rush for 766 yards and 7 touchdowns last season for the Jags, but it was just really crowded and hard for him to carve out a role, where in Philadelphia, I do believe that he'll see some opportunities, not only out of the backfield, but also returning kicks. And again, he's still young, and they view a future with him here in Philadelphia.
Now, I will say this. You mentioned the logjam in Jacksonville. Is this not a logjam now here? Now, John gave you a lot of flowers earlier today for predicting some of the following
I heard
roster
some of this
moves
yesterday
with Patrick Johnson being called up. So what's the deal now with maybe an A.J. Dillon? Do they dress for running backs? What is the fallout to this trade for other players?
Well, right now they have 7 edge rushers on the 53, and 2 of which aren't really known for their special teams contributions. And Azeez Ojulari, who played 66 special team snaps in his career, Obo Okoronkwo, he's played about, I want to say 400. The most he's played in the season is 146. So they're not very well versed in doing that. And if you're going to be the 5th or 6th edge rusher active on game day, it comes down to value. And if you're not able to help in the third phase, it's kind of hard to envision what their long-term role is going to be. So I don't believe that they're going to carry 7 edge rushers throughout the season. So if you're going to have to trim somewhere, that would be a logical place to do so. I really do believe that the Eagles like their running back depth. A.J. Dillon has a role on kickoff, so does Will Shipley. And I believe that Tank Bigsby is going to factor in that capacity as well. They all have roles, and it's also important to remember that they also lost Ben Van Sumeren, the fullback, to a torn patellar tendon. So perhaps there's some sort of a hybrid role in store for maybe I don't know, an A.J. Dillon. We have to wait and see how things play out. But there are other, other things that could potentially be at play.
With your eyeballs and what you saw, what's going on with Ojulari? And when you hear Vic Fangio talk, can you read between the tea leaves and give us some idea?
Oh, he had a quiet summer. There were some spurts where you saw glimpses of what he could potentially be in the defense, but it wasn't nearly consistent enough, John. And Josh Uche had the better summer. It's hard to figure because Vic Fangio knows exactly what he's looking for in terms of his edge rushers. Look last season with Bryce Huff. He knows if he can use you and what role you're going to be able to fulfill. I still think that Ojulari has something there. I do believe that when you have 22 sacks and you're 25 years old, for him it's been staying healthy. But again, if you're at best, and now he's further down the depth chart, but if you're the fourth or fifth edge rusher, you have to be able to help on special teams, and that's what factored into Patrick Johnson being elevated for Week 1 and then ultimately signed to the 53-man roster. But that's a position that you kind of want to stock, and I think Ojulari is not somebody that they want to part with. He just hasn't quite offered he hasn't performed well enough to leapfrog Josh Uche and certainly Zadarius Smith. So he's at 5th or 6th at best right now.
All right, Andrew, lastly, and we appreciate you coming on for a few minutes today. I thought it was a tinfoil cap theory, but John and Connor told me that I wasn't all that crazy. I want to get your opinion on this. Yeah, about this specifically. Nick Sirianni yesterday during his press conference was obviously asked about the upcoming game with the Chiefs, and he once again tried downplaying, the whole Super Bowl rematch. This is just another week. It's a good team. We gotta avoid any distractions, all that kind of stuff. I had a theory because you, I would believe, would agree that they were uncharacteristic last Thursday. They made just mistakes. Jalen Carter spitting on people, Nolan Smith with some of the unsportsmanlike conduct. They just did not look like themselves. Do you believe that the over-the-top suppression of trying to get past winning the Super Bowl and ignoring that it happened, do you think maybe they were a little bit too amped up because of that on Thursday?
No, not really. That wasn't the impression that I had. It's just more so of I think things started to snowball when you have an injury 6 seconds in and you lose your best defensive player 6 seconds in. There's the rivalry there, and there's trash talking on both sides, but it was very uncharacteristic for the Eagles to allow a team, any team for that matter, to get them off their game. Nolan Smith had some penalties. The Eagles had over 100 yards in penalties,
right,
which is certainly something that you don't see from a Nick Sirianni team that prides themselves on fine-tuning the details and mastering the things that take no effort, right? And those are some of the things that, as I'm taking my notes throughout the game, it was, I believe that was a blip on the radar. I don't necessarily look at it and say that they were too amped up, but things started to snowball from the onset, and I think it just kind of went from there.
All right. Well, so you're the one person that doesn't believe in the tinfoil cap theory, but I appreciate it, Andrew. You're the man. We appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Andrew.
Always loved checking in with you.
You're on Unfiltered this afternoon again?
2 to 4.
We'll be listening. Thanks, man. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Andrew Checo on the Comcast Business Hotline. Chipper Andrew Checo. He's ready to go for football, man.
By the way, they have Unfiltered on at the ACAC in Westchester.
Oh, that's great.
So it's good. We appreciate that very much so. They get a chance to see the work there of the gang, so everybody look their best.
Maybe they'll get 2 T-shirts from them soon.
There you go.
Coming up next, today's headlines with Connor Thomas. It is Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Attention, Delaware Valley. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Keller.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Keller.
97.5 The Fanatic. It's a Tuesday, which means Amy Fadul for the entire 9 o'clock hour, which also means coming up next, Jeff McLane joins at 8:25 to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. But it is time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
What do we got?
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Now, I imagine you guys may have been asleep, sound asleep in bed by the time that this one got finished up. But we had Monday Night Football last night, and the Vikings came back.
And that's it. The Minnesota Vikings will start this season 1-0 with this strong comeback and a win on the road here in Chicago.
Your guys' reaction to what you did see and what we learned when we woke up this morning.
The first half was miserable. Part of the reason why I went to the bed was there's no reason for me to keep watching this game. The 10-6 halftime score. It was a last-second field goal for the Bears. J.J. McCarthy barely did anything, in the first half.
Correct.
And then the second half, he played better.
He did.
And look, he's a rookie. I know he's in his second year, but he's a rookie. And
having that year though to study, to be around and everything certainly helps.
I'm sure that helps him out a little bit.
Absolutely.
One of my bigger takeaways was Jordan Mason's your lead back apparently in Minnesota. For all you people that drafted Aaron Jones in fantasy,
wow,
me, that kind of sucked.
I looked at both teams and I said, well, there's two more teams in the NFC that are not going to be better than the Eagles as far as keeping them from a Super Bowl, as far as keeping them out of the NFC Championship. So to me,
I still think the Vikings defense can win them football games.
No, I do. But they're not better than the Eagles.
No.
The Eagles, they're not. These two teams are not in the Eagles class.
No.
Yeah, not at least what we saw from week one.
Yeah, I don't see
it.
The Vikings aren't winning 14 games.
No, and JJ's not going to be ready to do it. But as I told you before, I truly believe JJ McCarthy can do anything that Brock Purdy could do.
Right.
And Brock Purdy's been to a Super Bowl.
Right. I just wasn't about to say, here you go, J.J. McCarthy, go win 14 games just like Sam Darnold did last year. I just don't believe that's happening year one.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll be tough. So we've finished the first week of NFL action. We also had great baseball last night. Now, it's no surprise that we were talking a lot about Aaron Nola today, but part of his post-game media availability that has not yet made the cut sheet, we got to figure out who did this. We've got a farter during the media availability.
And somebody did that on purpose loud.
Absolutely.
Okay, are you saying...
Maybe they wanted to show that Aaron Nola actually has personality.
By the way, it is a player, not a media member.
Is that confirmed?
I'm going to tell you right now, it's a player. Because the media member would not do that.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to fart.
That was purposeful. That somebody did one that loud.
Yeah.
That was purposeful. A media member would maybe let one slip out. That is purposeful that somebody wanted it to embarrass.
And they're keeping it light. Look, ever since Bryce Harper tried killing fun, looks like they're trying to revolt a little bit. John and I talked about this on post-show headlines yesterday. Good job, Connor. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't need the daycare anymore.
No,
but the over-the-top, no more fun, maybe made a bit of an impact with this team.
It might have. And
Brandon Marsh literally said the other day, over the weekend, when I got sent down, Garrett Stubbs kind of made baseball fun for me again.
And I think that I believe that Bryce Harper is not the guy that is leading everybody in that locker room.
Yelling at Edmundo Sosa, we don't do that around here.
I don't think he's the guy that everybody wants to follow. I think he's a guy who's respected for his talents and everything.
Absolutely.
But there it is.
And there's a big reason why there's players on this team because of him. So, they respect that. But I think the over-the-top, no more fun, maybe a bit too much.
So it's a player. Because I imagine eventually something will come out about who it was. We'll get...
we'll never find out.
You don't think so?
No, we're never going to find out.
Okay, give me your odds then. Each of you give your pick for who you think was the farter.
I'd put Castellanos right on the list.
Oh, no shot.
Way, dude. He was out of the building at that point.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No. Castellanos is not a runner and hider.
No,
that would be my last choice.
I'm saying, at that point, he wasn't doing media availability yesterday, did he?
But he could be walking by, coming out of the showers. He could be doing anything.
I don't think he's a forced farter.
No.
I think that's a Stott or a Marsh.
I think Stubbs is a solid pick. Stubbs is up there, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's on the team. Yeah. I don't think it's Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos is too cool to
fart. He's never farted in his life.
Yeah, right. He's too cool to fart.
Okay, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind with that. You think he's too cool to fart?
Yeah, when he farts, it's cologne that comes out, probably.
Wow. You sound like my wife. She's a very big fan. Big fan.
I've heard.
He loves Nikki.
All right, coming up next, our man Jeff McLane will join us. More in the Tank Bigsby trade. What's next for the Eagles at CB2? Edge rusher depth. They're 1-0. It wasn't pretty, but they're 1-0. And, of course, this upcoming game against the Chiefs, it's a big one. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Aaron Nola steps up. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phillies needed last night as they shut out the Mets 1-0, an electric game one of their 4-game series at the bank. Nola, 6 scoreless innings on the mound, allowing only 3 hits. And it's been a long time since we've seen him have a start like that. The bullpen closed things down in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and Nola talked after the game about how it felt to finally put a good start together like he did.
That was good. I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them, it's big.
And that was a big spot considering what happened pregame with both Trey Turner and Alec Boehm being placed on the injured list. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain, Boehm a shoulder issue. The Phils will play the Mets again tonight for Game 2, 6:45, first pitch time. Ranger Suarez faces Sean Manaea. In Eagles news, no decision has been made on Jalen Carter by the league for further potential punishment for his spitting incident. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and would not say whether there will be internal punishment from the team, so we'll keep you updated on that. The Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars. Jeff McLane of the Inquirer joins us next to talk about it. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear out?
In the next segment, I was just working like a madman, going through the splits, team splits versus left and right-handed pitching.
Team.
Batting average, slugging, OPS, and home runs were the four stats that I got for the Brewers, Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, Mets, and where they rank in Major League Baseball. I will give you both from the left-handed pitching, right-handed pitching, because, again, one of our talking points today is could Aaron Nola work his way back into the playoff rotation where he's not just like the fourth guy? Could he potentially be the third guy? And then we got into the conversation. Connor brought it up smartly, Connor, about, well, what about the opposing team? What if they hit better against one-sided pitcher? And so I have that information for you. But joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. You got to experience the new look of the Inquirer. Inquirer Sports, where fans can read, watch, and listen to their favorite reporters and columnists. Go to inquirer.com/sports. He does such a tremendous job covering the Eagles. His podcast, Uncovering the Birds, is fantastic. That, of course, is our man, Jeff McLane. Jeffrey, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
So, Tank Bigsby is now the newest member of the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought we'd first talk to you about Zadarius Smith, but let's go with the most recent trade. The Eagles acquired Tank Bigsby, giving up a 5th and a 6th-round pick for next year. What's your read on the situation for Bigsby? And, of course, what's your read on your situation for the running back room in general?
Yeah, I mean, Howie Roseman isn't messing around. Right? This is like 6 trades since training camp. I think this is a long-term addition, probably more than a short-term. I mean, yeah, I think they, want to beef up the room. Will Shipley has a rib injury. They're probably going to keep him out for a little bit. But I think this is an opportunity to get someone that they liked, who has, solid potential, but the situation in Jacksonville probably wasn't going to allow him to flourish the way that he wanted to. So probably wanted it out. Eagles probably need someone to return kicks. It's something that he's done. Not a lot of in the NFL, but has done well and done at a pretty high level when he has returned them. He's under contract through 2026. So that I think long-term wise fits into what, the Eagles like to do at times, not making especially a huge amount of money. I think there's an opportunity to get someone that they thought could help the team as a kick returner, but also long-term, just throw him into the pot there at running back.
Jeff, is it a little strange, though, all the moves early in the roster construction here during the regular season for Howie? Because they usually do come a little bit later on as we get maybe more towards October.
He's done this occasionally, especially right around roster cut down time. Yeah, I guess.
Like when you start during the season. After the first week, this just seems a little quick.
Yeah, he's done it occasionally. I wouldn't say 2 trades per se. Maybe the additional time off gave Howie a little time to. He's talked before about draft days when he's had rounds without picks and he's had to take long walks to not trade away picks or future picks, whatever. So I mean, this is who Howie is to some extent. I mean, no other GM or no other team has made as many trades since he's become GM in 2010. So just kind of his thing to some degree. He's for the most part been successful doing so, and I think the running back room. I don't think this was something that was addressing a need as much as what they did at the edge rusher position.
So let's talk about the edge rusher position with Zadarius Smith. How much are you expecting out of him? 9 sacks last year, 2 different teams. Remember, last year you had Brandon Graham, who was only supposed to be a rotational guy and ends up playing more than Bryce Huff because of necessity. Is Zadarius Smith a rotational guy, or could there be a chance that he takes away snaps from a Nolan Smith or Jalix Hunt?
I mean, I don't think as much from the top 2 guys. Certainly the guys behind Hunt and Smith, those are guys that they drafted, they believe in, but I think that they clearly wanted to strengthen that group, and we've talked about this for weeks, right? I mean, I've said this. I thought that was the position that I would address probably more than any because of the depth concerns there. Now, I thought Josh Uche performed pretty well in the first game. They didn't dress Azeez Ojulari or Obo or Okorankwa. I think I said that right. Okoronkwa. Okoronkwa. I got it right the second time. They didn't even dress either of those guys in the first game. But, I don't think either of those guys really popped in training camp. I don't know what they can expect at either of those guys long term when you really need them to contribute. And Smith's done it 69 career sacks. He had 9 last year for a couple teams. You know, the upside with him is greater, even at this age, is greater, I think, than the other guys when you're looking beyond the top 2. And maybe he does outperform one of those guys, and at some point you're like, okay, they're young. We got to put Smith in more towards the top of the rotation. But I think, if anything, it's just an opportunity to improve that room, and you know, Howie has the draft pick capital to do so, and made the move. I'm sorry, you didn't trade for him. This is a free agent they signed. But if we're talking about Bigsby, that's how that. I think that came to that move, and then this one is, you know, we've seen this before where Howie is willing to add veterans even beyond the trade deadline, right? Dominican Sue, Linval Joseph, they did that in November. I mean, he's just always kind of trying to find some way to improve the roster, and now we've seen it in different ways: trade and then free agency.
Jeff, I know, like you, from reading you and listening to you, that you like Nick Sirianni says after the game, to go back and look at it, to go back and watch it. Can you tell us anything you did after rewatching the opening night game? Maybe something that stood out to you as being a little worse than you thought when you watched the game the first time through your eyes, and maybe something that was a little better than you thought when you got to watch it in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no coach, but you know, you hear it a lot, right? It's never as bad, it's never as good,
sure,
as you thought initially. Although I thought Jalen Hurts was probably as good as I thought watching it live. He really played a heck of a game. Just really took what was there. With the running, with the passing, decision making, you know, was on point. Yeah, that was one of his better performances, I thought. The numbers didn't pop out, but, you know, I don't think that was all kind of related to him. You looked at the numbers of Saquon Barkley and how they stacked the box against him. I think it was like almost 2/3 of the time, which would have been 3 times the number, the highest number from last year. So that would lead you to believe that maybe there were opportunities downfield. And I thought, I don't know if it was the play calling or, you know, or it's just that maybe Jalen didn't pull the trigger a little bit enough. There were times in the second half when I thought they tried to get A.J. Brown, that they were clearly doing something, 3-1 set, right, and A.J. running a slant, you know. And they had something dialed up to get the ball to him, and it just didn't happen for whatever reason. Maybe they had a good defense call to counter it, or, you know, maybe someone picked something off and in terms of the play design, and Jalen had to go to another direction. I was really focused on the offense. One, that how well Hurts played, and two, why wasn't A.J. Brown? You know, why didn't he see a target until that last minute? And, you know, I think some of it could fall on Petula. I thought the Cowboys did a really good job during the half, and then obviously the rain delay to change things up in terms of their pressures. They drew up more blitzes, and the Eagles had trouble with that. In fact, Saquon Barkley really had trouble picking up blitzes or recognizing them, and I think that factored a lot into how poorly the Eagles' offense had performed in the second half. But, you know, some of it could have been just like, what, you know, why are you keep running in the stack boxes? You know, why aren't we doing something different? And I think that could fall a little bit on Kevin Petullo.
Hey, Jeff, real quick, because we didn't really get an update on Jalen Carter yesterday, I guess it's safe to assume that he will be playing Sunday. And I know Nick Sirianni is very clear that he will keep everything in-house, but is there any sort of action that you believe the Eagles will be taking with Jalen Carter, much like last year when he sat the first quarter against the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, in terms of the NFL, I don't know if that decision is final yet. As of yesterday, I was told that it would happen sooner rather than later, but my guess is today would be the deadline. I don't think they necessarily have a deadline, but my guess is that would probably come today. It could leak into Wednesday if they're trying to, you know, go through all the talk to as many people as they can and go through all the scenarios. So I'm not sure yet about the NFL. In terms of the Eagles, you know, I know that they had a conversation with Jalen the day after. Nick didn't get to talk to him after the game. He sat down with Jalen. From what I understand, Jalen listened and said all the things that they wanted to hear out of him. But, you know, I don't know yet if there's any going to be any discipline that's going to be like obvious to us on Sunday, he's certainly going to be fine. They do this they do it a fair amount. It rarely gets out. There'll be some sort of discipline in some manner. I don't know if it's going to affect his playing time. I'll find out hopefully these next several days. If not, obviously we'll see Sunday. But as for the NFL, I don't think that decision has been made yet.
All right, Jeff. Thanks, man. We appreciate the time as always. We'll continue to follow your work on the Inquirer and Inquirer.com and listen to your podcast, Uncovering the Birds. It's spectacular. And we'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
There's Jeff McLane on the Comcast Business Hotline. All right, coming up next, I have the splits. Team stats versus left versus right. Could this change your opinion on the usage of Aaron Nola?
I'm anxious to hear this.
Also, something interesting, something fun. Top 10 jersey sales so far have come out in the NFL. The Eagles represent well.
I bet.
It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles were busy again yesterday in the news cycle. So head coach Nick Sirianni met with the media, and there were definitely some questions that needed to be answered after the Week 1 matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. So what happens with Jalen Carter? We haven't heard from the NFL about any future punishment that could come from the spitting incident on Thursday. And Nick Sirianni was asked if there would be any internal punishment for Carter. Here's what he had to say.
Regardless of if you see it on Sunday or not, every conversation, whether it's a personal conversation, a disciplinary thing, all those things will always be handled privately.
So he's keeping that in-house. We'll keep an eye on that Carter situation and what the NFL decides to rule. The Eagles also traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars, so that adds to the running back room. We saw them sign defensive end Zadarius Smith over the weekend, but one position that has not been added to yet is the cornerback spot, which was a bit of a weak spot on Thursday night. Nick Sirianni talked about Adoree Jackson yesterday as well.
This is the greatest team sport there is. So to say, hey, this happened because of this player, it's not realistic in the game of football. I thought he had moments where he had good challenges, and obviously he gave up a couple plays.
So we'll see what the Eagles plan to do there, if there's a move coming at corner to match the ones at edge and at running back. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Eagles.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions.
What's up, John?
You heard that streaming device ad?
Yeah.
I bet your cousin Marie is listening this morning.
What's up, cousin Marie?
Marie is from enemy territory, though. She is a Eagles fan in Kansas City.
Oh, is that
Big
right?
week for her.
And let's just say she
Yo,
is
little Marie.
She is sports her. She's Yummy's daughter.
Oh.
And so Yummy's daughter ain't wearing Kansas City Chiefs colors. She is sporting her Eagles colors strongly this week. But she texted me yesterday saying she was listening to the show on the app. She got the app, was listening. So she's listening up. So it's a big week. Big week. Now her daughter, Christy, she listens. She listens all the time.
We appreciate the whole Yummy family.
The high stands. They're the high stands out in suburban Missouri.
Well, thank
listening
you. Thank you for listening.
And
on the
HJ
app.
became a lawyer.
How about that?
So he just passed the bar. So that's great.
Something I'll never be able to accomplish.
I'd pass a bar.
You've never passed a bar in your life, the
That's
two
a
of you.
good point.
You roll in.
All right, couple of things. Real quick. Do you want the jersey number or jersey sales, or do you want the splits first?
I want the one you've been teasing me on and I purposely have not looked it up.
All right, so I have Brewers, Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, Mets. Those are the 5 teams that I jotted down.
Can I predict who would be the worst against lefties? Starters?
So
do you have those numbers?
Yes.
Okay, who's the worst against lefty starters?
I would guess it's the Mets.
I would guess it's the Mets.
That is correct.
Is it really? I was guessing.
I knew it was the Mets.
Oh, you knew it.
They're terrible against
so
lefties.
I'm going to say the Mets batting average against left-handed team stat, right? So not Pete Alonso, but team stat. Mets batting average against lefties, they're 18th in the league. They're 15th in slugging, 14th in OPS, and 12th in home runs. So this is league-wide. It's not National League. This is league-wide.
I'm taking a flyer here.
By the way, against righties, they are 7th in batting average,
good.
3rd in slugging, 2nd in OPS, 3rd in home runs. So that may change your that would stick with your
it sticks with me. And
That
I'm also
sticks with
going
you,
to and
yes.
I'm also going to say I'm going to take a flyer that the Dodgers are also bad against left. Their numbers would be better against righties.
Dodgers numbers against righties are not as good against lefties. Or no, hold on, sorry. Dodgers against righties. 13th in batting average.
Right.
6th in slugging, 5th in OPS, 6th in home runs.
So they're better against lefties.
But against lefties, 8th in batting average, 3rd in slugging, 4th in OPS, 1st in home runs.
So it's sort of close.
So you might want Nola to pitch against the Dodgers.
Okay. So that's a close one. There has to be somebody else then. There has to be, just by numbers-wise, Cubbies?
The Cubs.
Bad against lefties?
Against right-handed pitching, they're 15th in batting average.
Well, oh boy.
9th in slugging, 9th in OPS, 8th in home runs. Against lefties, 13th in batting average.
Well, then that's the same.
But 6th in slugging, 8th in OPS, 4th in home runs.
Well, we're not going to have to play the Cubs. We're not playing the Cubs because the Brewers are not losing the division of the Cubs.
By the way, Brewers, it doesn't matter.
The only way you're playing the Cubs is if you play them in the National League Championship Series. So you're not playing the Cubs.
Sure.
Because the Cubs are in that 4 seed pretty much locked.
And they won't be in the NLCS. Their pitching isn't good enough.
Yeah, and they didn't. And
I still can't believe they didn't add.
It's inexcusable that they did not go and get some starting pitching.
You want to hear something amazing about the
What's
Padres? Do you know they're second to last in home runs against left-handed pitching? With Machado and Tatis from that side of the plate.
Bro, that team has some weird stuff
It's
with
weird.
them.
It's so weird because
I'm telling you,
they're middle of the pack with everything offensively. Their starting pitching's okay. Their bullpen's nasty, and that's what scares me.
But even
about
though
them.
the bullpen since the trade deadline has not been as great.
Isn't that amazing? It's weird.
Well, the Mets and the Padres look like they loaded up their bullpen the best of anybody in baseball.
Yeah.
And their bullpens have both taken a step back since the trade deadline.
So the Mets are the only team where you'd want to probably go all if it's a best of 5 series. And remember, the way the best of 5 series is lined up, you only need 3 because of the days off. You only need 3 starters.
Yeah, because you have game 1 on a Saturday, game 2 on a Monday, game 3 on a Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, so that's Sanchez, Ranger, Luzardo, no doubt.
Correct. The The Brewers,
And then-
the Brewers, it's to pick your poison. Padres, Dodgers, Cubs, you're going to want to pitch Nola in one of the outings. If he can, or Walker Buehler, depending on how it works out with
All right, now this is way too early, but I'll just say it to both of you. You're Rob Thompson. The Phillies go out and take care of business and win the first 2 games of the series. Let's say they play in the NLDS. They win the first 2 games of the series, game 1 and game 2 at home. They have the day off, then they go play game 3. So are you going back to your game 1 starter in game 4 if you're up 2-1? Or are you saving your game 1 starter for game 5 at home?
No, I'm just trying to win a series.
So you're going immediately back to your game 1 starter then?
I don't like the Phillies in elimination games. Let's win the series before we get to that.
You're both saying right now, no matter the opponent, you're going, I'm up 2-1, I'm going game.
I'm not rolling a dice and risking a potential game 5. Not.
Okay.
Do the Happy Gilmore. I'll just beat him now.
Even with home I would love to know the baseball book on that one, because even with home field advantage going home for game 5, I don't know what it would be.
I ain't risking it, man.
Okay.
I ain't risking it. All right, coming up next, Amy Fadul's going to join us. She's with us for the remainder of the show. We'll ask her the Phillies question today of what can add to the hope. And then these jersey sales, the top 10 jersey sales in the NFL before the season kicked off. The Eagles represent it very well. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
An electric night at the bank. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies shut out the Mets en route to a 1-0 win in what felt like a playoff-type environment at Citizens Bank Park last night. Aaron Nola, 6 scoreless innings, allowing only 3 hits. It was a stellar start, and one that a lot of us probably were not expecting, considering how his season has gone so far this year. Nola talked after the game about how it felt to finally put a good start out there.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that 1 run against these guys and hold them big.
And it wasn't an easy spot for the Phils, not only because they were playing those pesky Mets, but because Trey Turner and Alec Boehm were both placed on the injured list yesterday ahead of the game. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain, Boehm a shoulder issue. Phils will play the Mets game 2 tonight, 6:45 p.m. Rangers Suarez versus Sean Manaea. In Eagles news, no decision has been made by the NFL on Jalen Carter yet if there will be further discipline for the spitting incident from Thursday night. Nick Sirianni would not say whether or not there would be internal discipline, so we're still keeping an eye on Carter's availability for week 2. The Eagles, well, no, if Tank Bigsby available. They traded 2 late-round picks for him from the Jaguars yesterday. Amy Fadul joins the guys coming up next. This update's brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that's built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
2-hour regular schedule. It's football season.
That's right.
All right, so it's time to get back to normal. And that means Amy Fadul is with us for the remainder of the show. Amy, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy to be here.
Tuesday.
Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Now, obviously, we saw you on Friday of last week, and
Correct.
you were in on Thursday as well with Ray, getting ready for the game and after the game. So we don't really have to talk much more about Spitgate. We are just kind of waiting to find out what the deal is with Jalen Carter moving forward. Jeff McLane made it kind of clear that it could still happen today. I think John made a good point yesterday that if they were to suspend Jalen Carter, they would have to do something with Lamar Jackson.
They'd have to.
And knowing the NFL, they don't want to do anything with Lamar Jackson.
You can't engage with a fan, touch a fan, even though I think Lamar...
He was in the right.
Absolutely.
The fan was in. I would more put it as the fan's in the wrong.
Right.
I don't think a player's ever in the right to touch a fan.
No, I just don't think I don't think it's black and white him being wrong.
Oh, I don't think he can ever touch a fan. I don't think a fan can ever be touched.
When
I
the emotion of protecting your player,
what he did, but I don't protecting him.
Telling him he's protecting his guy.
You
don't know what that fan has or is going to do. You don't know that. Do you know what I mean? Like you're
in today's day and age, you're saying
pushing
like
a
crazy
guy
people.
across his helmet.
I watched a Mets fan pull Mookie Betts' wrist down, trying to take a ball out of his glove.
He could have broke. I remember that.
Yeah.
I
The
remember
home run
that.
ball, right?
Yeah, it was a foul. It was a foul ball. Mookie Betts went over, and he's
And he
literally
literally
pulled
grabs his wrist.
over the bar. Like
Yeah.
he could have legitimately
literally
injured
grabbed
his
it.
wrist.
I would have probably come up and punched that guy because
Yeah.
that would have been really. So again, you shouldn't lay hands on people, and just in general, it's like I feel like I've had this sentence. I've had this call. You shouldn't spit on humans.
You
like
have
check,
two
check.
boys. You probably have these conversations in your own house.
Good Lord, if that ever happened.
Like, boys, you
No.
shouldn't be doing that to each other. Do not hit each other.
I would just Shawnee, if there was any kind of projectile coming from his mouth onto another person, he would have a lot more to pay for than just whatever the coach was having.
Right.
I would pick him up from the field, carry him
Hang on.
out. That's it. We're done.
Mom just crashed the field.
What is she doing?
What is that crazy woman?
All right, so last night was fun. Phillies win
Oh
yesterday.
my gosh, what a fun!
It was
Obviously, I
fun.
think not lost in it, but talk about something you had to have. Aaron Nola,
yeah.
had to have it. So we're sitting at NBC Sports Philadelphia yesterday, and the news comes out. Trey Turner, not unexpected, done. Grade 1 strain, very good news comparatively because he had the grade 2 strain before. All right, and then you have wait a minute, Alec Boehm's on the IL? Okay, we're looking at the lineup. What is this lineup? And meanwhile, the Phillies had not announced any of the moves yet.
Right.
So we're just seeing these things. The reports are coming out because Rob Thompson is talking about it. And then someone asks, where's Brandon Marsh?
Right.
He has flu-like symptoms. Where is he right now? He's in the recovery room sleeping. And I just thought, literally, I was like, when it rains, like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You've got to be
Before a
kidding
series against
Before
the
a series
Mets.
against the Mets, like an unbelievable series where you had to get something positive out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, here's a guy that just got shelled his last time out, and now you've lost
multiple times.
and now you've got half your lineup. Like, great, perfect. It was absolutely the meme of like, this is fine, and the whole world's on fire. So when I say you had to have it from Aaron Nola, you had to have it, and he looked good.
You got it, and it's sanity week because you know how much it sucked when they got swept by the Mets, in the last series.
How did Amy react? Because she had only seen one loss of that series when you were in. Or no, Amy was in for me, right?
Yes, I was.
So how many games did you see? Did you have to come in the morning and deal with?
I saw
this one?
2, I think.
Okay, how bad was it?
I saw.
You were in Tuesday because
How bad was it?
DeCecca was Monday, Connor was Wednesday. So
That's right.
Amy was in
So-
Tuesday. You saw the 13-3.
That's what I saw.
That was what we reacted to,
Yes.
the bludgeoning.
How
It was
bad
kind
was
of
it?
like, oh,
How bad was he?
it wasn't good.
I was bad.
He didn't. We walked in, and so usually, like, you're almost always in the summer wear a Phillies shirt. And he's like, I couldn't do it today.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear my Phillies shirt.
I was embarrassed. 13-3 because they were down. They were
Yeah.
up 3-0, and then they
Yeah, it was
gave
like they
up
never
13
they stopped
unanswered
scoring.
runs.
So yeah, it was.
It was crazy.
So I wasn't good.
I had to
No, he
watch
wasn't good.
I had to watch it at Icona with all these Met fans because everybody was down there. The only people that were still down in Avalon
Yeah.
were people from North Jersey
Yeah.
that appeared.
Yep.
So
I
it
feel
was
like there's a lot.
Met fans, Yankee
just
fans.
unbearable.
Oh, it was unbearable.
Unbearable.
But
Terrible.
last night was fun. So we have a question. I want your answer on this, Amy, as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And Connor, have a text message ready as well. Our main topic today is what you could see this week or what you would like to see, logically, that could add hope to a long run in October. And the reason why I had this topic idea was because last night, to your point with Aaron Nola, that's a prime example. Like seeing that maybe Aaron Nola still has something left. Do I expect him to go the next 3 outings, 6 shutout innings? I don't. Could I see him implode in his next outing? I do. But do I now know that that's still there?
Mm-hmm.
I do. I saw it last night with my own eyes. That was not a dream. I was not on any sort of drugs for the majority of that game. Like, I watched Aaron Nola throw 6 shutout innings yesterday, so I know it's still there. What would you like to see this week that kind of adds to your hope?
I need some of the hitters to start hitting. I mean, it sounds so simple, but honestly, I did one of the games. It was a game last week, and I thought the bottom of the lineup was the only ones that came through. It was the Harrison Bader. It was Bryce and Stott.
It was a great night. They all
and
had
it was
big
like,
nights, right?
okay, guys, 6, 7, 8, 9 all had hit, and there was one guy at the top of the lineup that did, and no one else did.
Right.
I need those guys to start picking it up and be more consistent, not just like a one-off, right? Where and I will include Kyle Schwarber in that because obviously he's been on a bit of a skid. I don't have any concerns that Kyle Schwarber's going to be able to find his rhythm again.
Right.
He is a great hitter. There is no doubt about that. I do need to see, especially if we're going to be dealing with any kind of whatever the platoon situation is, those guys need to really come through. And they need to continue to come through. I just think consistency for me has been the biggest issue with this lineup. And it's hard last night to really say that was anything, because McLane is a tremendous pitcher. He's had a great year. And I thought, okay, well, he's going to give him your best. And I thought, you scratch across a run or two, that's about as good as you're going to get against him. That's just the kind of year that he's been having. But going forward against the teams that you're going to be playing coming up, the rest of this Mets series, the Dodgers obviously ahead, consistent hitting. Maybe not every single time going 2 for 4, but don't go 0 for every single game or 3 out of the 5 games.
Right.
I just need consistency from those guys.
By the way, YouTube chat all saying good morning to Amy.
Oh, good morning, YouTube.
Do you need hope? Do you need hope, though, for the second best team in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, because they're all keeling over.
So that's what it is. It's not about this team,
If you told me a month ago that you're trying to make a run to the World Series without Trey Turner, who's your 300 hitter, and Zach Wheeler, who's your ace, I'd been like, well, good luck with that, John.
Yeah.
But we're assuming that Turner's back. We're going to assume that everything goes that
by
Turner's back.
The end of September.
But to me, I looked at what the Dodgers won a World Series with last year. They were missing 3/5 of their rotation that they started the year with, pretty much. I mean, they over the course
have an MVP
but over the course of the year, they put their entire starting rotation on the injured list.
Right.
This is just adversity. The Wheeler loss really takes it back, but they're still managing. Since Wheeler's been out, the Phillies are still the best team.
Yeah, they're still
playing
managing
better than all the other teams that they're
the bullpen
competing.
has stepped up. I mean, every time that about a month ago, Matt Strom came in, you held your breath. You still hold your breath, but you feel a little bit better that you're going to be able to exhale that breath in a little bit. And I feel like they do have a little bit of a rhythm. The one thing that I remember Rob Thompson talked about is that these guys like rhythm. He's talked about this for all of baseball guys are. They really love rhythm and just routine. And so if you know it's going to be a certain way in the bullpen, that helps those guys. And it helps everybody set up for that success. David Robertson, Matt Strom, Johan Duran. There you go. There's your 1, 2, 3. And it's going to work hopefully like clockwork, not every time, but most of the time. And that's why you can get through when your starting pitcher is able to give you the outings. Christopher Sanchez has been nothing short of spectacular for most of the season, a good majority of the season. And if his name, was Paul Skeens, and was having this year, he'd be Paul Skeens isn't having an otherworldly.
Yeah,
he's going to be.
He just plays for a bad team.
It's just so bad. His ERA is just unbelievable. But I feel like those guys have stepped up. You have to continue. We're not at the finish line. It feels like we are because September's here, but you're not. You have a full month of this thing to go.
Only a 4-game lead over the Dodgers for the second seed.
15. That's the number. 15
Yeah, this
over
is
the
really
Dodgers.
big. Getting these wins against the Mets, it helps you obviously in your standings, and then the fact that you play you're really
it helps you up
you're
here,
making
too.
up. Yeah, you're making
Phillies
up
finally
ground.
beating this team.
Exactly,
Well,
you're making up ground physically and mentally.
I want to go into that Dodgers series. Right now, your magic number with the Dodgers is 15. Because honestly, magic number with the Mets is 11. You're going to beat the Mets. You're going to win this division.
No worries.
So right now,
You hear
the
that,
number,
Andrew?
The number I'm looking at, I know that I've had to remind him. The number's 15 with the Dodgers. I would like to go in and say, maybe you could have that number with the Dodgers down to 10 by Monday. When you start that series.
That would be ideal.
And you can walk in there and say, just don't lose all 3.
Right.
Go to LA.
Go in a positive way.
Go in and just go in there and say, we're not under total pressure.
Yeah.
Try to feel pressure.
Take care of some business.
Knock 5 off that number this week if you can.
Sure. All right, come up next. I promised the jersey sales. I have a question that somebody said something. A National Football League analyst said something that I guess makes sense if you think about it, but if that happened here, we'd lose our collective minds. And also, can somebody explain to me why the NFL is making such a big deal of Josh Allen pointing behind his back which direction for James Cook to run in?
Yeah, why is that such a big deal?
And then it was a loss of 1.
Pointed the wrong way.
Like if he did it and he ran 60 yards for a touchdown, cool.
Isn't the quarterback supposed to help recognize certain things?
They're literally the NFL so subtle with it. Shh, with this shush emoji. He lost a yard on the play.
Yeah. Not subtle.
I think they're letting teenagers run their social
media.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got some stuff coming up next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 Fanatic.
The summer season.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m.
(9:12) here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Amy Fadul with us for the remainder of the show. We're back to our normal schedule here on a Tuesday. All right. The top 10 jersey sales from the spring, summer, leading up to kickoff. The Eagles have 3 players in the top 10.
Okay.
Amy and I, can we play Family Feud?
And Connor as well.
And Connor. Okay, so all right, Amy's the captain of our team on Family Feud.
So I won the buzzer, obviously.
So we're playing. Okay, you got the buzzer.
Yeah.
All right, top 3 Phillies.
So
Eagles
there's 3 in the
10.
top 10.
Saquon Barkley.
He is number 1.
Okay. Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean is number 6 on the list.
Connor, don't blow it.
Jalen Hurts.
He's number 2. Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh, we did it. Good job.
So
Good
Saquon
answer.
and
Good answers, everyone.
Jalen, numbers 1 and 2. Cooper DeJean comes in at number 6. Your other 7, Jaden Daniels at 3rd. No surprise.
Doesn't shock me.
Josh Allen 4th. No surprise. How about Shador? Number 5.
What?
Love that.
That is, the guy's got a rap song out. He has got infinite.
He's bigger than just the than just the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Clearly, Lamar at 7. Bo Nix at 8. That's a weird one.
Got to be a believer.
The Denver people are
Denver
very
people
excited.
are crazy, though.
They're very excited.
And they're a great. And that's a great fan base.
They are, dude.
They've been desperate.
You said it. You got to see it. It's a great fan
When
base.
I went there, the only thing was different. Instead of them being drunk, they're all high. Like, it was, no, we're the same people. Like, I had a blast. Yeah. And, like, during the game, we all hated each other. But as soon as, after Devontae had the 50-yard touchdown, it was like, what are you guys doing later? Like,
let's hang out.
We were the same people. It's just not like.
But Eagles fans aren't like that. with visiting fans.
Sometimes they are.
Sometimes we can.
Overwhelmingly, our fan base is not.
It was
Come on
all
now.
I'm saying is
sometimes they just feel bad for the other people.
I could move there and I could fit right in.
Like,
Denver though is very much they're passionate.
Yeah, they are.
And they got a little edge for the middle of the country. They have a little edge.
It's a really cool stadium. Jameer Gibbs 9th on this list, and Travis Hunter obviously with the.
I didn't think of Travis.
The good one. Prospect of him, playing both sides of the ball. He was at.
That's a good one.
Number 10.
I get that.
That's a good one. Yeah, I could see Travis Hunter.
And like the thing is, for the most part, people are obviously, jersey sales are across all ages, but a lot of these folks are on the younger side, so they're going to identify with the guys that they've seen.
What's next, too, maybe?
Right, like, what they've seen growing up. If they play college football on Xbox or PlayStation, those guys were on the cover. Like, they grew up, grew up, but they're still growing up, but they're watching them. Like, they've seen Travis Hunter in college. They want to see what he looks like at the next level. They've seen Shadur Sanders. So I think that there's some of that. And those guys also have personalities outside of football.
Like, don't forget, there's also people that wear jerseys for, like, fashion and style. And
Shadur,
all
though, I
that
can't
kind of
understand.
stuff. Well,
I'm sorry, I can't understand.
Look, big name. All right.
Dad had a big name.
So, I missed this yesterday. I saw it this morning. Greg Olson was on with Dave Portnoy. So Dave Portnoy is obviously now also doing Fox Sports stuff, not just the Big Noon Kickoff. He's doing like midweek stuff, apparently.
He does the Good Morning.
Okay, so
he took over their morning show, which was the old Carton and
Craig
Stink
Carton, and
all that. He took that over.
So Greg Olson was on as a guest. Now, this is one of those, when you think about it, all right, I get what he's saying. But could you imagine hearing this just hours after your team blew a multi-score lead to the Buffalo Bills en route to a 41-40 loss?
What did you hear?
Quote, as heartbreaking as the loss is for Baltimore, it sounds weird saying it after you lose, but I think Baltimore's in a pretty good spot to have a great year. Now, obviously, I think we all expect the Ravens
they're
to
gonna
have
be
a great
justified.
year.
You go, duh, to that.
Yeah.
But the point that he was making, he continued, was the Bills needed Josh Allen to be a superhuman in order to win that football game, whereas the Ravens have a bunch of people that can win them a football game. I don't want to hear that. The day at. Like, I don't want to hear that. He says, when the dust settles, when you look at which model is more sustainable, it just seems like so much of the workload falls on Josh Allen. It's just really hard to count on Superman performances from one guy every single week throughout the course of the season. But if I'm Baltimore, I'm saying, you know what? It took that Herculean effort by Josh Allen. Some things didn't go our way. We're on the road in a really hard place to play.
I get what he's saying, but
but you
my
don't
team
wanna
just got
freaking
dismantled.
I don't want to hear that.
In an unbelievable. You were up 8 with 2 minutes to go.
I don't want to hear that.
The game should have been over.
They were up 15 with 4 minutes to go.
It's that's truly
terrible.
remarkable.
That's terrible.
But also, like, to say it's a more sustainable model. Have you seen Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
Seriously.
He has other people on his team, but let's face it. The reason that they lost that game is because they didn't give him the ball back. That is how you win the game against the Chiefs. You just don't give him the ball.
The Ravens gave the Bills the ball back, Josh Allen the ball back.
So it's like...
Could you imagine if the Eagles blew a 2-score lead and
someone was like,
one of us came on the next
you're built
day?
for all winning. You have so many more people that can help you win. Not that day we didn't.
No, that's not something I'd want to hear.
But that statement's not for Ravens fans. That's for a national audience.
Mike Florio reporting that even though Jalen Carter was not suspended yesterday, a source with knowledge of the situation says suspension is still on the table, that a decision is currently being finalized. The game check is $57,222. I do not believe it, because one of the things that was reported earlier is that it would be the first time a player was suspended for a Sunday game on a Tuesday. So
I
take
think
it for what it's worth. The competition committee would have an issue with this.
Yeah, they would have to let him know.
And then if you suspend him, what's up for Lamar Jackson?
Oh, no, Lamar's going to... He's going to he'll get to do whatever he wants.
All right, coming up next, we'll check more of our text messages on our Phillies question about the hope and what you need to see this week to have more hope. But also, I have an NFL-related question. Our man Bill Colarulo was giving the league credit for something that I don't agree with. We'll discuss that next as Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Nola comes up huge. I'm Connor Thomas, and Aaron Nola was dominant last night. That's surprising to hear. It was surprising to see. The Phillies shut out the Mets 1-0 in an electric win in Game 1 of their series at the bank. And Nola went 6 scoreless, allowing only 3 hits. And it's been a while since we've seen that version of Aaron Nola, and he knows it. He talked about it after the game, how great that felt.
That was good. I mean, I hadn't had a game like this in quite some time. I was able to put the team in a good position to win, and throw some zeros up there, and the bullpen came in and did their job, and being able to scratch that one run against these guys and hold them is big.
And not only was it big because it was up against the Mets, it was big because Trey Turner and Alec Bohm were both placed on the injured list yesterday ahead of the game. Turner has a grade 1 hamstring strain, so better news than we could have gotten. And Bohm has a shoulder issue. We'll keep you updated on their recoveries. Phillies play the Mets Game 2 tonight, 6:45. Ranger Suarez versus Sean Manaea. The Eagles still do not know if there will be discipline for Jalen Carter from the NFL. As you just heard John bring up, Mike Florio reporting that suspension could still be on the table. Nick Sirianni met with media yesterday and would not say whether or not there would be internal discipline. The Eagles traded 2 late-round picks for running back Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars yesterday as they continue to reshape their roster. This update is brought to you by Temple Football. Be there as Temple clashes with nationally ranked Oklahoma this Saturday at noon at Lincoln Financial Field, alstix.com. I'm Connor Thomas on your home for the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bo, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Six here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Amy Fadul with us for the remainder of the show. Talking a lot about the Phillies, obviously, who took game one of the bout against the Mets. 3 more games in this series. I would like them not to all be one-run ball games, even though I do love that brand of baseball, pitching duels. Once again, it's Sanity Week. I would like to just, have a comfortable
Sounds
game.
more like Insanity Week with you. I got to be honest.
A little bit more comfortable.
By the way, Phillies the favorites today. They were not the favorites yesterday.
No.
They are minus 130 on the money line today. I just need Sean Manaea to not look like Cy Young.
They win this one tonight.
Just I have such a visceral reaction when I see certain Mets. Sean Manaea is definitely up there.
Because
Jeff
you wonder
McNeil, every
Jeff
time I
McNeil
see
is
him.
the guy for me.
Every time I see Jeff McNeil, and so when he came up late, I was like, come on.
He's the guy that I can't
This
stand
guy,
his face.
I just...
Like Manaea is
What
like
about
you don't understand why not. Oh, I hate Brandon Nimmo.
What about
I-
Finding Nimmo? I mean, he's...
But I mean,
seriously.
like...
He definitely says he plays baseball the right way because he runs down the first base line to walk.
Yeah, Manaea, though, is from that guy also for me. I just see him. I'm
Just
like,
that, really?
Because it's only against the Phillies. He's good.
Exactly.
It's Jose Quintana. It's Sean Manaea. It's these guys that are just like,
How about...
They're like
Crafty lefties.
They're trivia answers, like
about
in 20 years from now. Like, oh, this guy had a 17 ERA against everybody not named the Phillies.
How
Who
about
is it?
Bet some Phillies overs tonight.
You think so?
Uh-huh. The offensive floodgates are opening tonight, people.
I hope you're right.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be right. They're gonna open up some floodgates tonight. Gonna really start taking them out. Mets knew coming into this series they had any hope. They had to win the first one because they had, when you're down 7 going in, you got a 4-game series. You're like, well, you got to win the first one to make any kind of an impact.
Right.
And then you lose. Now it's like, well, now we got to win 3 in a row.
Now we're chasing.
Oh, it's puckering.
So you're facing a tough lefty with 2 of your best right-handed hitters out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where it's...
This is
Connor?
fine.
Okay. Connor, locked on. What you like to let's pick the runs tonight.
Okay.
What would you say? What's the run
We'll
say?
set the over-under
No.
Hold
You
on.
tell us the runs tonight. I'll tell you the runs tonight.
4.
You say, wait a minute, you're still going good. You're going over the.
You said open
You're going
the
to
floodgates.
Yes,
If you
we're gonna-
say 4,
Yeah,
you're
then
losing
just
this.
last time was wrong. I'm gonna take-
That's like
Pause. The
3
over-under
runs.
is 4.5,
The
so
over is
that
4.5.
means Connor's taking the under.
And that
And
was the line I was gonna say.
easily
And you're
taking
taking
the
the
over.
over.
I'm saying
Easily.
6 tonight.
I don't know if that's easily.
Yes, it is. It's a run and a half over the.
You said floodgates. If that was the flood, Noah would be walking with his pants rolled
Look,
up.
there's no such
6
thing
runs in a
there's,
game.
Look,
6
there's
runs
no
in a
such
game
thing
is.
as a half a run. So that means he scores 2 more runs than your prediction.
And 6 is absolutely scoring very well. And that will open up tonight. They will have that going.
If it's 5, then me and Amy win.
That's right.
$1
No,
billion.
Amy, you win nothing and like it.
I feel like we win at life.
Yeah, we got to win something.
You'll be winning.
All right, Bill Colarulo over the weekend. I want to find his tweet word for word because I did respond because I did not like his tweet, but I wonder where you guys fall on this. He put this out on Sunday around 5:30.
What was it?
I know a lot of people are reluctant to accept change, but you have to admit the new kickoff rule
Make
in the
the
NFL,
switch? Oh, we've already
the
done
new
that.
kickoff rule in the NFL is pretty incredible.
What?
Oh, good Lord.
What is he talking about? Was that a paid ad?
Maybe it was.
Was
He
it
does-
hashtag
He does
ad?
have a blue check mark.
That is awful.
To which
That
I
is
responded,
terrible.
touchbacks to the 35 is ridiculous.
It's stupid.
He then says it's to deter touchbacks, so they have to kick it to the returners. It has to be ridiculous, or every team would just take the touchback. Again, these kickers, you're giving them a window where they have to kick it in.
Yes.
It's not easy, I would imagine. Like Brandon Aubrey's one of the better kickers in the NFL. He literally could not do it
Yeah,
against the Eagles
a really
the
good
other
kicker.
day. So I hate it because if you start at the
Oh my
35,
gosh.
you're one decent play from being in field goal
It
range.
just the whole thing. I understand about safety and listen, watching the old. When people go back and look at like the old kickoffs, they're going to be like, "Well, that seems very unsafe, right?"
But a lot more
it's a batter-
interesting.
But
Yes.
there was some nuance to it. You would kick it to a sideline. You would kick it. You had nuance to it. Now it's like you have a very, very tiny window, which you're probably not going to hit. So you're just going to go ahead and do the touchback.
You're getting things from the XFL.
And I don't like
The
that.
whole
NFL,
lineup.
it's gimmicky.
Also, like when you look at it from the bottom, I'm like, what is this?
It's
it looks
terrible.
like everybody's like onside kick.
It's
The whole
gimmicky.
thing's weird.
The NFL,
Don't like it.
And there's no
There's got to
energy.
be a better way
There
to
was
do it.
energy in the building during a kickoff. Any kickoff in a game, there was energy in the building for a kick return. There is zero energy.
Well, it went
There is-
away when it was the constant touchbacks.
No, but there's
Well,
zero.
yes.
There is zero energy in the building now when the kickoff. It's nothing. You can hear a pin drop.
I think people are just confused when they watch it.
Yeah, I think that's
terrible.
too.
They're just
that's
like
true,
they're
too.
just staring at it, being like, I don't really understand what I'm looking at.
It's
Now-
atrocious.
now look, to
that's,
Bill's-
that's a shockingly bad Bill Colarulo
Well,
take.
to
that
Bill's point,
Bill
maybe
doesn't miss
maybe
many.
Bill is pro special teams. Maybe he's a big Mike Clay fan, and he wants special teams to be more involved. Now, ultimately, we talked about this last week. The NFL all the NFL cares about is more points. Like that's all they care about. So, Bill Barnwell had a write up where he did things that were real from week one, things that weren't real, and one of the things that were real was the increase in kick returning. Just 18.6% of the kickoffs produced a touchback in week one, down from 64.5% from last year. Right, so
Yeah.
in 1 week, that is
drastically
huge.
different.
Yeah, it's huge.
The points, though, and again, this is the point that I'm making. Over the past 5 years, drives starting within 1 yard of the 30-yard line generated an average of 2.0 points. Move that up to the 35-yard line, which is where the new touchback is. It's 2.3 points. So obviously marginal, 0.3 points. But that just tells you that you're getting into field goal range after one play. And so the NFL is getting what they want. It's just, I don't like it.
No, I think it defeats the purpose.
I don't know. I'll
it
tell
does.
you, I have no issue.
God, I
I
hate
haven't
it.
really even noticed too much. Like
You
I,
didn't
You're a
notice.
shill for
No,
the
I
shield.
mean-
What do you mean you didn't
No, I
notice?
didn't
He's showing
notice.
a fear?
How did you not notice?
I mean, I know it's different, but it does not change the
I literally
game
like
that
takes
much
it 5
at all
yards,
for
and they're
me.
like, "Well, we're in. Now we have 60-yarder."
Well, it takes,
on the
a,
table.
it takes
I like
skill. It
offense.
takes a skill out of the game. It takes a third of the game out of it.
No, it changes a skill. What skill does it take out?
What? So somebody's
Blocking,
playing like
defense?
someone's playing like chip and putt, or really like we're at a putt course. Like
yeah,
they're-
it's like playing constantly from
It's
the
like
forward
pitch and
tees.
putt.
It's still kicking. It's just directional kicking. I don't know.
yeah,
I
but
don't,
there's no return game in it.
this is such a non-issue to me.
Wow.
I don't know.
Here's one that should be.
You
for
like
all-
NFL blitz?
Here's one.
Yeah,
that
hell yeah. Who
here's-
doesn't?
He's an
Exactly.
XFL fan. Here's one where you should be though. How about this one for you? The first Saturday of college football. This past Saturday of college football, and this first Sunday of NFL football. The biggest profit for the NFL in Vegas, because the top 5 favorites in college football were 0-5
Sure.
against the spread in week 1 of college football. In week 2 of college football, the top 5 favorites against the spread were 1-4. The top 5 favorites against the spread in week 1 of the NFL were 1-4.
Yeah.
So the top 5 favorites between the first 2 weeks of college football, the first week of the NFL, are 2-13. Unders in the NFL on Sunday alone and with the Eagles were 2-13. Vegas cleaned up.
Yeah. They're excited.
Up
Yeah.
with this. So
'Cause
I don't know if
it's
you can't call it a trend.
Yeah. The thing is, like, people the sharps out there will try to start to recognize that and realize that the lines are set up because of that.
Sure.
Right? So the lines are crazy. So I am in a pool where you pick against the spread, and some of the spreads I'm looking at, I'm like, these are crazy. Dolphins Colts is a 1 point. Like, what in the world? But they're thinking about that. Now, that one obviously is a bad example because of the way that one went.
Right.
But because of that, these 6.5 point lines, which are probably should be like 3 point lines, because of the way that the kicking rules are set up, they're expecting some of these teams
More
that shouldn't be in
points.
it. Yeah, exactly. They can get closer. They can get closer than they should. Some of the lines have been kind of crazy.
Weird
but those
start.
guys will start to figure it out.
Weird start to the year.
Neil says on YouTube, Chunas is focusing on the 35-yard line touchback too much. The focus should be on the increase in returns. I'm just saying a drive starting at the 35 because of a touchback is ridiculous. I don't think I'm spending too much time on it.
It's
That's
ridiculous.
insane. That's
Like,
one chunk play. All of a sudden, it's a chip shot
it's
field goal.
25 yards to a 57-yard field goal attempt, which, by the way, teams are attempting 57-yarders all the time now. A 25 yards of offense?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I like points.
Yeah, but
Give me
it's just-
points.
Yeah, but it's like a video game. It's not football.
Video games are more fun than real life. It's proven.
I don't know if that's
Maybe
Yeah, it
to
doesn't
the, maybe
seem-
to the
yeah, you
young and
need
the
to- yeah,
dateless.
I like.
stuff.
You need to get out more.
I enjoy life.
Are you going to start wearing like
Yeah,
the
you go touch graph.
the goggles?
The VR goggles?
Are you going to have a
Sure.
VR goggle
You need to
girlfriend?
get out more.
All right, calm down.
Are you going to have her call you CT18
God
or
forbid
something?
I like points and fun stuff.
CT18, you are my man.
But the kicks aren't how we like them anymore.
Coming up next,
I
we
like
got
points.
our text messages in the key three. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the show for you. Each afternoon from 2 to 6, we only bring you honest opinions and analysis.
We may not agree all the time, but what you hear is what we genuinely believe. It's not some rage bait to try to spark conversation. So make the switch to Unfiltered with me, Bill Colarulo, my man Ricky Bowe, and Silvana Kelleher.
Every weekday at 2 p.m. right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly fans, you are the best sports fans in the world. You're not stupid, so why should you have to hear outlandish takes that make you shake your head?
You shouldn't. That's why Unfiltered is the
You're on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. If you're with us.
Fellow psycho. She likes getting her teeth clean, too.
No, teeth cleaning's fun.
Oh, so you like it?
Yeah.
I didn't know you. I thought you
feel
were
great
anti
afterwards,
it.
don't
you?
I love going to.
Dude,
I don't like when they chit-chat with you.
I have a phobia of cavities. So, of course, I want my teeth clean.
Now, the thing is, though, you guys are young enough. I don't know, Amy, were you in the teeth sealed generation or not?
Yeah, I got the seal.
Like my daughter, you were sealed.
Yeah, with
my daughter, it was of the sealed teeth generation. Yeah. So if you guys got cavities, you were really lazy kids.
Yes.
I do the Gabe Kapler with like the gummy stuff. Dylan makes fun of me for it all the time. I spit them out.
Really?
I get the flavor and then I spit them out. I don't chew them.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Kapler did it with ice cream.
Yeah, he was weirder.
Real weird. Can I try to? I just won one little quiz for Amy here quickly. Amy, Cliff Clavin.
I can't with that. I'm sorry. You chew the gummy.
No, I
bears.
don't chew the gummy.
You just
I don't
put
want to say the words because then it's gonna.
Exactly.
You let it
later.
You savor the flavor in your mouth and then you spit it out.
And he likes the texture of it as he.
That is wild.
That is wild.
Go on, Cliff Clavin.
Cliff Clavin.
Yes.
Who's Cliff Clavin?
He's from Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the actor?
I mean, I can visually picture him. I don't know what his name is.
Okay, but you know the actor. Okay.
Yes.
There he is. Yesterday, I was floored.
Yeah, I know, dude.
When Andrew.
Cliff Clavin.
When Andrew.
Do you know who Norm is?
When Andrew and they knew Norm.
Yeah, I feel like Cliff
and
is
they
like.
didn't know Cliff Clavin.
Yeah, but I feel like people he didn't know. He didn't have as his name wasn't as out there as much.
It still shocked
the
me.
The reason why the conversation came up.
Like, I can't think of like some of the other characters.
John tried doing the voice.
Right,
Well,
but he had his
Frasier
own show. Like, what was
After
Rhea
that.
Perlman's name? I don't know her name on that show.
Carla.
There you go. I would probably like if you thought about it longer.
Okay.
John tried doing the voice of Ham from Toy Story, which is Cliff
Clavin.
And
I
was
said, it's Cliff
it was one of
Clavin.
the worst impersonations I've quite frankly ever heard in my life.
Okay.
And then I said, who's Cliff Clavin? And then I said, oh, I only think of this guy as the voice of Pixar because he's in every movie. He's in Cars.
He says, we know him. And Dylan backed him up and said, oh, he's the voice. He's like in every Pixar movie. And I'm like, he's Cliff Clavin.
Yeah, I feel like his name wasn't as like out there. Like Woody's name was
John Ratzenberger.
Right.
Woody Harrelson.
That is definitely, it's one of the first times with Andrew,
John
with Dylan
Ratzenberger.
then.
He is
where
all
I go,
over the Pixar.
Where I say, oh my gosh, that's the first like age thing where I go, cheers. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but you
Cliff
knew
Clavin
Norm.
is
He
huge.
said it
I
all
knew
the time.
Norm.
Norm.
Yeah,
Norm.
right, exactly.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear.
It's good work.
There you go.
Question. You know how I love power rankings. Big fan. So the Eagles dropped a spot in the power rank from 1 to 2.
Okay.
The Ravens went up from 4 to 3.
What?
The team that went from 3 to 1 was the team that beat the Ravens in the Bills.
Yeah, makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Why not?
They had to score 41 points in order to win. That means they gave up 40.
Yeah.
That means their defense, which a lot of people wonder is going to be the reason why they lose football games at times this year, gave up 40 points. So Josh Allen alone should not climb you up 2 spots in power rank.
Okay.
I get it was the Ravens. But let's not act like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens isn't a formidable offense.
Right.
The Eagles shut them out in the second half. The Bills gave up 40 points.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the way that the power rankings have those two teams, and the Cowboys are not.
Of course,
it is dumb though. You can't give up 40. You can't give up 40 points. You can't give up 40 points.
40 points
and be the number 1 team in the power rankings.
If we did quarterback power rankings, sure.
Or you said we're saying offense power rankings, we scored 41. Sure. You cannot be the number 1 team in the power rankings and win a game 41-40 if you're just basing it on 1 week's work. It's not there.
The heaviest weight matchup of week 1 goes down to the wire. You outlast them. You beat a really good team in the Ravens that a lot of people think are a Super Bowl favorite. And, yeah, I got no issue with them being 1.
They tend to say that every year with the Ravens. That tends to be the thing. I don't know how the Eagles get moved out.
Yeah.
How did the Eagles get moved out?
They scored 24 points and looked kind of.
And they kept the other team to 20, and they shut him out.
Jalen Hurts had the best statistical week of any quarterback.
You guys don't have to convince me.
Well, that makes any sense.
I still like
you
the
said
Eagles.
it makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
You can absolutely make the argument.
It doesn't
that coming out of week 1. Who do you think had the best week 1? Is it the Buffalo Bills? Because I think it's the Buffalo Bills.
Bill's offense? Yes. Bill's defense? Wretched.
Well.
Bill's defense gave up 40.
They
gave up 40
I would say you
points.
probably say the Chargers had a better week 1 than the Bills.
You know
the
what?
Chargers had a better
good
week
pick
than
as
the
well.
Bills. Yeah. The Chargers would be right there in the mix.
Which I hated because all I thought about was,
I would think the Eagles are not moved out. The Chargers are, to me, would be probably 2.
That's a good win for them.
I think the Chargers are right there.
I don't know how you can move up 2 spots when you give up 40 points.
No, you can't. Your defense is pathetic. I mean, that's like the Eagles.
Not only is it's pathetic in like the only time I need you to stop is at the end of the game. Yes, I want you to stop at the beginning, but really, what I really need you to do, defense, is not let them score points in the last 5 minutes. That's really what we're looking for.
That's all.
My gosh.
Or
Ravens,
you're going to let them score all the points.
Went up.
Yeah, Ravens
My
did go
gosh.
up.
The Ravens looked good for a while.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, both of those teams look good.
It's just those last 5 minutes.
Look, I'm not saying they're not good teams. I'm just
They're
saying
not, but it's like
moving off the Eagles is weird.
If you're doing a power rankings, you cannot ignore defense.
No, I know, but the Eagles didn't look great, right? Jalen Hurts played really well.
The Cowboys are going to. The Cowboys should average. I would guess the Cowboys are going to average like 26, 27 points a game this year.
Yeah, but how many will they average giving up? Because I bet you it'll be more than 24.
They gave up 20, and they gave up the worst quarterback performance against them of any team this week. And the Eagles went out there and won the game, and they're the Super Bowl champs. I don't understand how you can be bypassed.
Wait, what do you mean worst quarterback thing?
The Cowboys gave up the worst quarterback performance to them. The Jalen Hurts had the best quarterback performance of anybody statistically.
Well, according to what?
It was efficiency. He was he was the number one efficient quarterback.
Efficiently, but
he was the number one.
Most people are going to say that Josh Allen was going to have the best.
Take Josh Allen's.
Yeah,
I'll take like 3 or 4 guys over Hurts.
Josh is great, and
I love Hurts.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Look, as much as I still continue to push the efficiency and
hey, look! These numbers. If I'm supposed to believe in these analytics. These teams like these analytics.
Sometimes I could throw Josh Allen's analytics out the window.
Exactly.
All right, give us a text message, Connor.
All right, so we have people still checking in on the conversation about Phillies' hope and what they need to see. So this texter is talking about what Nola needs to continue to do. With Wheeler going down, Sean says, I need to see Nola pitch the way he did last night. Not saying he has to shut out every team, but give me quality starts and not pitch only 4 innings. Also would like to see more situational hitting with runners on. Small ball helps win games.
Yeah, if Nola pitches well against the Royals on Sunday, before they go out to play that Dodger series, gives you 5 innings of strong ball, 6 innings of strong ball, you're feeling pretty good.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to see it more. Like, I'm not going to tell you that this is going to be the norm.
No,
it's just I'm happy that I finally saw it. Yeah. So what? Bueller's going to get Friday, right?
Bueller's pitching Friday. Nola will pitch Sunday.
They have a game Saturday.
Yeah, I know that the top 3 pitchers are pitching the Dodgers series. So you got your 3 coming up here pitching the Dodgers series.
Giddy up, man. We're almost there.
Can't wait.
Time now for the key 3 best minutes from today's show.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
My question for the people and for us to discuss today, Johnny, is what could happen this week that gives you more hope? I'm not saying what do you need to see for the Phillies to be World Series contenders. I'm just talking about the hope. So that come October, you can close your eyes and just say, hey, giddy up. Let's go on a long run here in Red October. Let me finish, John. A long run here in the Red October.
You said a wrong run. I was like,
so my question is, what could happen this week that gives you more hope? And last night is a prime example of what could give you more hope. A performance by Aaron Nola where you sit back and you watch a guy pitch where you go, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that he's back. I'm not sitting here telling you that Aaron Nola is your game 1 starter. I'm not sitting here telling you that Aaron Nola is now all of a sudden going to be a spectacular pitcher and it's like they added another starter, right? I'm not going to say any of that stuff. Yeah. I'm just talking about hope. And last night was a prime example.
Well, one thing I know about this group is they do have a tendency to surprise you. And last night,
Both ways, by the way.
no question.
You expect them to win a game and they lose.
Last night, I was absolutely pleasantly surprised. And we did it on post-show headlines yesterday. I do believe that Aaron Nola, I believed, and I said it yesterday on post-show headlines, I believed that Aaron Nola, the struggle bus Aaron Nola that could still go 6 innings scoreless, and nibbling. He was at 45 pitches through 2 innings. He was still nibbling early, and then he got on a little bit of a roll. Then he settled in. I still think that may be what he has to be, but I think a solid for the rest of his career. If he could be a solid 3, I'd be thrilled.
Jalen Hurts silenced the naysayers with a stellar Week 1 performance against the Cowboys that showcased his running prowess, particularly in the red zone. With the Super Bowl MVP picking up the slack for Saquon Barkley, the Eagles continue to roll over divisional opponents.
Did he, though?
Well, what are the naysayers saying? Like, seriously, what are the naysayers? Like, I need to know. I hate the argument, but I get where people are coming from. Oh, look at all the talent he has around. But naysayers, like, what do you mean by naysayers? Like, you can't say he can't throw the football well, because he does. The whole can't read a defense. He's starting to prove that wrong. You don't win the Super Bowl by not being able to read the defense. The way he was able to tuck and run in situational moments in Week 1, I just don't know what are naysayers saying? And I'm talking about the real people, not the weird trolls online that are trying to uplift their quarterback. I'm talking about people that analyze the game and try to diminish whatever Jalen Hurts does. What are they actually saying?
They're saying that he's getting carried. That's the argument.
That's the only argument they have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He did not get carried
A.J.
on
Brown
Thursday
and
night.
Devontae Smith were non-factors.
Right.
So then they're blaming him for that when he was the best efficient passer in the NFL?
Our man, Jeff McLane. Jeffrey, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I mean, Howie Roseman isn't messing around. Like 6 straight since training camp. I think this is a long-term issue, probably more than a short-term. And yet, I think they, want to beef up the room. Will Shipley has a rib injury that's probably going to keep him out for a little bit. But I think this is an opportunity to get someone that they liked, who has solid potential, but the situation in Jacksonville probably wasn't going to allow him to flourish the way that he wanted to, so probably wanted it out. Eagles probably need someone to return kicks. It's something that he's done, not a lot of in the NFL, but has done well and done at a pretty high level when he has returned them. But he's under contract through 2026, so that I think long-term wise fits into what the Eagles like to do at times, not making especially a huge amount of money. It's just an opportunity to get someone that they thought could help the team as a kick returner, but also long-term, just throw him into the pot there at running back.
All right, that is the Kincade and Salciunas with Amy Fadul, Key 3 best minutes from today's show. Amy Fadul's not done. You have more work to be done today, right?
Yes, there's coordinators are speaking at 11:30.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I thought you were on midday.
Not today.
No, Life-Saving Cancer Research is brought to you by Window Nation today. They made a donation to the AACR, 975thefanatic.com/AACR. Thanks, Window Nation, because Life-Saving Cancer Research saved my life.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think it did.
I thought you were at middays.
No, she's not.
I'm filling in for Ricky on tomorrow and on Thursday.
On Unfiltered.
Yes. Maybe that's
Ricky on vacation this week.
That water is filtered. She's drinking. But that show is not.
triple filtered.
By the way,
That's triple filtered.
Crystal Light was what I was trying to remember.
I believe
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in me.
What?
That was their slogan. Don't you remember the jingle?
Why do you know that? No.
That was their jingle.
John, odds are the jingle or slogan, nobody remembers it but you.
I believe in Crystal
Also,
Light because I believe in me.
That doesn't make any sense, Crystal Light.
That was their jingle.
Well,
maybe that's why he remembers it.
I believe
you
in
remember
Crystal
a bunch
Light.
of random
Yes.
stuff.
I believe
absolutely.
in me.
I believe in me.
Because I drank powdered sugar?
Yes.
It's not even real?
That's what you
Perfect.
But it does taste delicious.
It tastes delicious.
I told you, I used to mix it with stuff in college.
Now I got to find it. You better sign out of here.
It was great. It's a good way to stay hydrated while you're
Stay high?
vibing.
Did you say?
Hydrated.
Hydrated.
Okay.
Come on, John. I was a good boy.
Hydrated.
All right, Amy, thank you as always. Ray Dunn comes your way next. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow is an Adam Schefter Wednesday. It's one day closer to Eagles Chiefs, and we will have 2 games in the books of this 4-game series with the Mets of Sanity Week. I feel a little bit better today.
Sanity.
Hopefully it continues. Everybody have a great